All right, guys. Today we have PPI inflation data coming out. Expectations are 0.1%. Yesterday we had retail sales. All right, so PPI is expected to show up at 0.1% month over month, or 0.1% month over month, year over year. Let me look at another source for this. And hold on, we're going to get the screen up. It's on Friday today, guys. It's Friday. Honestly, my Tesla position's doing really, really good, bro. Alright, so yeah, PPI month over month 0.1%, PPI year over year, which is not really a big reading, expected at 0.6%. We also have housing starts, building permits. Alright, so yeah, this big release drops at 8:30. Alright, so we're gonna... Where's Super Micro at today? Alright, Q up to 430s. Super Micro at 1050s. Look. Alright, let me get this up. Look at the Q right now. It's at 437s. Crazy. Super Micro hit over 1,000 this morning. Over 1,000 for Super Micro. That's what everybody was talking about yesterday. It barely hit it before the close. What a crazy day yesterday, dude. Tesla over 200s. Honestly, that position's looking really nice for me. Yeah, I mean, sorry, Sam. I never heard you say that. I've been holding Tesla for like... I don't know how long, bro. Let me see. I originally bought Tesla in... The only time it's showing me is the 12th, which I think I sold a little bit on the 12th. Where's my other trades? I'll have to look at a trade list. But I bought Tesla. I've been holding Tesla for like months, you know. What's up, Jose? What's up, Joseph? Let me get some music playing. Yeah, it's all good, Sam. No, I'm not disagreeing that you said that, brother. What's up, Kevin, Robert, Daniel? I'm not disagreeing you said it. I'm just saying I didn't see it myself personally. Chat moves quickly, especially yesterday. We had retail sales and all this other stuff coming out, so I just missed it. You saying it, but you were right for sure. Tesla flying up. You love to see it. I mean, again, I've been holding it for this reason with pretty decent size. We took a little bit of profit yesterday. I thought we did. I guess we didn't. I don't know. It doesn't show me, like, what's weird is that when I look at my trade grid, it doesn't show me the profit that I took on it yesterday, which shows me it's not showing all of my trades on it. But we took profit. When it bounced up to like 196s, we took profit. Yeah, it's easy to be right in a bull market, for sure, but I think Tesla predictions are a little bit different, though. I think Tesla predictions are just different. You know, I think Tesla predictions. I think Tesla moves a little bit differently relative to the rest of the market. What was your take regarding PPI? I think it's back to the same thing we had Tuesday, which is what is the market, what does inflation data look like? This is a pretty, this is the less polarizing inflation report versus like retail sales or something like that. With retail sales, you could speculate on what does the market want. Does the market want more economic growth in sales, or does the market want less economic growth or sales, right? Like you could speculate on what the market wants. This is less speculatable in that we know the market wants typically, or actually PPI actually is a little bit polarized. CPI is less speculatable. PPI, sometimes the PPI can come in high and the market likes it. There's a lot of reasons for it. I know where there was one. I mean, PPI is useful, but like PPI is certainly less PPI is certainly less easy to predict reactions to versus CPI. A lot of the time PPI data will come in higher than expected, the market will positively react, or lower than expected and the market will negatively react. I've seen that happen a lot, but it is inflation data, and higher PPI data does eventually lead to rate hikes, hawkish Fed, and ultimately higher prices for us. So, you know, oh man. So wait, so if it comes in higher, is it actually better? No, not technically. Technically, it's worse. Higher inflation data is almost always worse. The market's reaction can vary, though, and that's the weird thing. But the market's reaction is different. Not sleeping well lately? Not. I mean, I here's the thing. I've been falling asleep early. My wife has too. My wife next to me has been out before I have been. But my son has been sick for the last few days. He ran a fever yesterday. He feels fine today. My son's up right now. My son was up playing a game on his phone just now when I woke up. And so it's probably because he fell asleep at like 6:30 last night. And now he's up, which I can't even be mad at him, you know, because I fell asleep at like 8:30. And now I am up. But I got plenty of sleep. I really did. I just woke up over and over again. My son woke us up over and over again. John, market is up 6.5% year to date. Don't you think it's a little extreme? Oh, it's certainly up a lot. I am not again, you guys heard me say yesterday, I think the market's I'm not buying up anything right now. Now there's some positions that I have that are benefiting from all this stuff, but like I'm not really buying up anything right now. Like my Tesla position is benefiting from this, and that's great. But again, I'm just not in the mode where I'm buying up anything. The market's up too much for me personally. I have a base portfolio of things. Like again, right now I'm holding, and again, these are lighter shares. I'm not holding big shares in any of these. But and so just understand that I'm not holding big positions in any of these. But I'm holding Apple, AMC, ARM, Boeing, Baba, Citigroup, Chewy, Delta, Disney, Etsy, Ford, Gold, GameStop, Google, Home Depot, Honeywell, Coca-Cola, MGM, Microsoft, Nike, Oracle, Pfizer, Palantir, PayPal, Snapchat, SoFi, SPY, Tesla, Tyson Food, Walgreens, Walmart, and ExxonMobil. Those are my positions. Very green portfolio, to be honest. It's not that difficult to make money, again, in this market. And I have taken a lot of profit on these. I'm holding little pieces of these left. Like Snapchat, I'm completely flat. PayPal, I'm nicely green. PayPal almost back up to 60s. That's nice. Tesla, of course, doing me really well this morning. You'd love to see that. Walmart treating me really nice too. ExxonMobil, you know, up to almost 104s. Google up to almost 145. Home Depot up to 360s. I'm in at 290s. So we're doing really nice on all these positions. Almost all of them, not all of them. We're losing on the only positions we're losing on right now. We're losing on a small Boeing position. We're losing small on Baba, but we're basically flat in both of these. Especially with Baba today, we're almost flat. So Boeing and Baba, we're technically down, but it's pretty much flat. We are also losing in Etsy. We are losing in gold now after gold's pullback. We're flat on GameStop, but we're down like 50 cents. So, yeah, could be worse. We're also losing in Pfizer. We're break even in Snapchat, and we are losing in Walgreens. Every other position, I think, we are green on. So every other position. Oh, we're losing on AMC. I'm sorry. So we're losing on how many? So this is like what? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There's 32 positions, so we're holding 32 positions in our portfolio. All of these positions equal about $15,000. It's not a huge positions. None of these are big. And we, out of 32 positions, we are losing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are losing in 7 out of 32. So we are green. In 25 out of 32 positions right now on TOS. Swing trades and investments. These are both swing trades and investments. So we're doing pretty well. We're green in, a majority of them. We're green. We're over 25%, or we're over 75% accurate so far in these. And we've taken profit in a lot of these as well. But, it's really easy to make money now in this market. It's really easy. Yeah, we're green in SoFi as well. You love to see it. Yeah, I don't know if NVIDIA is going to break 1K. I think it could, certainly. I think Supermicro has done a very similar thing. If we look at NVIDIA on the top left, chaos for this. Chaos at 740, still just pumping up, just crazy gains here. And again, we'll see what happens. We got PPI inflation data. I'm going to put a poll or a timer up. The good news is that my son is feeling better. My son is happy, jumping around, feeling good. Where's my timer? Oh, there it is. All right, let's put that up. All right, so we have 2 hours, almost exactly 2 hours. We're going to call it 1 hour and 59. There we go. But yeah, NVIDIA at 739s, Q at 437s, Tesla all the way up at 203s, 204s. I feel like I should take a little bit of Tesla off here, but I can't yet, so it's all good. Yeah, NVIDIA earnings next Wednesday. It's not just, so again, it's a pretty busy week. We got PPI today, of course, very big day. Economics wise, guys, it's a very busy week. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of market movements here. And next week is a very busy week. Next week specifically here, team, we have no earnings in the morning, no earnings in the evening on Monday. Tuesday, we have Walmart, Home Depot, Medtronics, Axum Therapeutics, Armstrong World Industries, KBR, a couple other ones in the morning, but big retail, Walmart, Home Depot in the morning on Tuesday morning. Tuesday evening, we've got Teladoc, we've got Realty Income, we've got Palo Alto Network, Solar Edge, Caesars Entertainment, Toll Brothers, Ring, Chesapeake Energy, Matterport, Medifast. Wednesday morning, we've got Vertiv, Medical, Analog, Photronics, Wingstop, Wix. The big boys, though, are Wednesday evening. We have NVIDIA, Rivian, and Etsy earnings. So Wednesday evening, and Lucid. So NVIDIA, Rivian, Etsy, Lucid, Dutch Bros, Marathon Oil, and a bunch of other ones. So Wednesday evening of next week is going to be incredibly volatile, incredibly busy. Thursday morning, we've got mRNA, we've got NKLA, we've got Fiverr, Wayfair. Thursday evening, we've got Square, basically Cash App, Carvana, bookings. And then Friday we've got some other ones: Warner Bros, Discovery, and a couple other ones. In terms of actual economic reports, though, we've got the Fed minutes report also on Wednesday. So Wednesday we're literally going to have to stream from the Fed minutes report to Nvidia earnings, which is fine. It works out kind of perfectly because the FOMC report drops at 2 p.m. and then Nvidia earnings, we're going to spark that stream up at 3 p.m. and so it works perfectly. We'll be able to stream all of it. So that's great. That's nice. We'll see if we get some good data there. We also have jobless claims, flash manufacturing and services PMI, and existing home sales on Thursday. Aside from that, it's kind of slow. Tuesday morning, we got a bunch of earnings, Home Depot, Walmart, stuff like that. But next week economics data is a little slow, aside from the Fed minutes report. Let me make sure. Yeah, so next week we don't really have anything big. We got Canadian CPI. That might be worthwhile to watch. Canada CPI Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday we got the Fed minutes. Thursday we got European CPI. A bunch of other stuff. Manufacturing services PMI. A bunch of other stuff. Friday, nothing. Which is alright. Let's look at the next week following that. So not this week, but the next week. The week of the 26th. Yeah, the week of the 26th, we've got CB Consumer Confidence, Core Durable Good Orders, Case-Shiller data on Tuesday. Wednesday, we've got GDP data. Thursday, we got PCE data. Friday, we got manufacturing and services PMI. So not this week. Or this week's already pretty freaking busy. Next week will be neutral. Next week will be kind of medium week, and then the following week will be very busy. PPI expected at 0.1%. 0.1%. Yeah, I don't know about if I'm buying anything right now. I just don't know if I'm wanting to buy anything personally. The market's up a lot, What do you guys think? Does inflation come in high or low? I don't understand how people still buy stocks at these levels. It's insanely euphoric. Well, it is what it is. We didn't stream Coinbase earnings. The reason we didn't is because Coinbase, man, it's been Coinbase, we never really get that great of results, as well as the earnings call versus the actual report is off. It takes too long. So the actual call was at 5:30. The report dropped at 4. So I would have to wait an hour and a half for Coinbase, and that's just way too long. Inflation comes in high. We have a small dip. PPI coming in hot. Sticky inflation should rise ahead of. A lot of people think it'd be coming higher than expected for PPI. I don't know. Maybe we do. Again, hit the like button. Help your boy out here. Looking at our poll number, 69% confirming that prediction, and higher PPI data, 30% think lower. We'll do a Twitter poll as well here. But yeah, PPI data. All right, so we're gonna do a poll like we always do. All right, guys, so we got our poll on Twitter. Vote on this poll. It says the same thing. Today's PPI data ends the week after a whirlwind of a report volatility. Does this inflation report come in higher than the 0.1% expected? Vote on the poll. Here is the poll right here. Let me know how you feel. I'm an optimist. I think it'll come out lower. I tend to be an optimist as well because I think here's the reality of it. I think when on a macro view, optimists win, right? In stocks, in a macro view, it depends on what you're optimistic about. Of course, it depends. If you're optimistic about a penny stock going to $1,000 a share, you're probably not going to be correct. But if you're optimistic about the market moving up on a macro sense, yes, optimists typically win. Jeff Bezos has sold another $2 billion of stock. Dude, Bezos is looking swole, bro. You know he's TRTing it up, dude. Good for him. Cheers to Bezos, man. You know, my man's looking like a freaking Superman villain, you know. My guy looks like Lex Luthor. Cheers to Bezos, man. Seems like a fun dude, you know. Yeah, I just said Bezos was a fun dude. Anyways. OpenAI's new text-to-video product. Whew. So good. I gotta try it out. Where could I try this out? Dude, all these guys in the chat, man. Market can be irrational longer than you can be solvent. Oh, 100% it can. Again, the reality of it is nobody knows what the market's going to do. Here's the truth, right? Basic truth of markets. Number one, nobody knows when the market's going to correct. Nobody does. Number two, nobody knows when the market's going to move up. Number three, except for a macro level, right? A macro sense. Number three, over a long period of time, broad market index funds and blue chip stocks most likely will move up, right? That's the biggest thing. So with that in mind, again, market might do anything. It might go up, down, sideways at any isolated period of time. But on a macro view, it's most likely going to move up, right? And that's the edge that you should play with. That's the edge that I play with specifically, and it works very well. The hardest part of the system is, again, you guys know me with my strategy in stocks. And again, I'm going to put this up because you guys know I'm terrible at this stuff and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Understand this rule as well. We are going to be day trading in a funded account and combine account probably today. So understand this rule. But with that said, the strategy that I typically use in stocks works very well. At least it has. What it involves is me looking for deep extended pullbacks usually the time frame, there's a couple time frames I'll look for. Like, I'm a dip buyer in stocks. Usually what I do is I look for deep extended pullbacks in blue chip companies that I like legacy companies that I value as healthy, that I think are healthy companies that are down enough that I think there could be some value in buying the dip, buying a big pullback. We had that very large pullback, months and months ago. If you look at the Q as an example here, and you put up a weekly chart, we had this pretty large pullback back in July. In July, we had a very extended pullback that lasted for months. That's when I entered most of the positions I'm in right now. I think, maybe not most. That's when I entered some of the positions I'm in right now, is this big pullback. And again, we had pulled back for months. We had months and months of red. I was loving that situation. I was just saying, okay, these things are extended on the downside. That's great. And I bought it up. Right. Another example is when a company has bad earnings. We did this the other day. What did we do this the other day on? We had a huge pullback in a company. And we had a big dip in a company, and we bought it, and then it bounced back very fast, and we made money on it. What was it? What was it? Was it Delta? I don't think it was Delta. Do you guys remember me doing this a few days ago? What did I do it on, chat? Help me out. Datadog. It was Datadog. Thank you, Yair. Thank you, sir. Yeah. And so, again, very similar strategy on Datadog here. Again, if you guys remember, I bought Datadog, and I'm now out of it. I cut the trade, so it was a swing trade. But, again, I did this on Datadog. It's pretty simple. It works really, really well with healthy companies that drop significantly from earnings, so like, again, Datadog dropped a huge percentage from like almost 140 down to 110. Very large percentage from 140 down to 110 is a very big percentage overall. So when it dropped down to 110, I almost got in at the lows. And a lot of people were like, nah, don't do it. But I've seen this happen enough to where I'm willing to hold Datadog a little bit longer term as a swing trade. And if I'm wrong, that's okay. But I bought it up after big emotional pullbacks, and the likelihood and the probabilities of buying up something down here after this massive pullback and having at least a small bounce back, in my opinion, is very high. You have to figure out the right stocks. You have to pick the right stocks, of course, but like waiting for extended pullbacks is what I usually do. People always say, hey, what are you going to do if the market crashes? I'm probably going to be buying the dip and buying up a bunch of discounts. And so I don't mind when the market pulls back. Again, and I think the way I look at it is, okay, if I buy up, Datadog might not be the best example of this, but if I buy up Apple on a very large earnings pullback, right? If I buy up Apple on a very big dip, or Amazon on a really big dip, we put up a weekly chart as an example. I bought Apple back here, I'm pretty sure. So in July, I said, okay, if I buy Apple after pulling back for a couple months and I'm wrong short term, I can hold it long term. I will keep holding that thing. It's Apple. It's not going to fail long term. It's going to go up almost certainly long term. And so I can look for a couple months of pullbacks, buy that dip, and then sit on it. If I'm correct short term, which I was, you can see I was very correct. It ended up ripping right back up to the highs, and we took some profit off of it. We're still holding a little bit. Great. I'll take a little bit of profit. If it dips again, I'll buy it again if I can, if the setup is similar. But in that way, if I'm wrong short term, some people are going to say, well, hey, what if it keeps dropping? That's fine. If I'm wrong short term, I can just hold it long term, and it's Apple. It's almost certain to go up long term. And so my accuracy rate for these trades is very, very high, because if I'm wrong short term, I'll just hold it a little bit longer. If I'm right short term, I'll take some profit and rinse and repeat. And so it gives me a situation where if I'm wrong, I hold it a little bit longer, and almost certainly I'm right. And if I'm short, if I'm right short term, then I'll just take profit and add back on pullbacks and continue doing that. And now it's a risky situation if you don't have the patience to hold some of these things. And it's also never something like, you never want to do this in blue chip healthy company, or you never want to do this in anything but blue chip healthy companies. Like, you don't want to do this in penny stocks. You don't want to do it in mid caps. It's kind of like a form of dollar cost averaging almost, with some profit taking along the way. But it's but you don't want to do it with penny stocks. You certainly don't want to do it with OTC stocks or with mid caps, because mid caps are super speculatable. There's a huge chance that mid caps are going to fail, drop 50% a year and all that stuff, and it's just not the same. You know, you see people do this with like Peloton or Tilray or just a really like sketchy stock that you don't want to do this on. And so again, the reality is I do this on legacy companies, healthy companies. It works really well. Anyways, I wanted to explain like my strategy. Yeah, stop saying the same thing over and over again. You didn't even spell good right. I'm in Palantir right now. I'm very green in it. We've been holding the rest. My average price, so again, remember, I bought this one ahead of earnings. This was one of those rare stocks that I bought ahead of earnings because I thought the earnings were trending fairly well. Our average price prior to taking some profit was 16 something. So we were in at 16s. It's now at almost 26. My current average price is 19s, and it's at almost 26. So we're still up. We're still up like 25% in this position, but we had an even better average where we were up like 40%. We had a better average where we were up. What's the percentage gain? 16 to 25. We'll call it 15 to 25 to make it easy. So we're up 66% is the percentage, right? 10 is 2/3 of 15. And 2/3 percentage wise is 66 repeating percentage. So yeah, I mean, again, not too shabby, guys, not too shabby. We'll take it. Also Tesla today. I'm in Tesla. I'm loving life right now for that one. We were patient, got a little nervous in a couple periods of time, but overall we held it. We made money on it. I'm happy with it. I'll probably take a little bit off, but hold majority of the position once I can in about 10 minutes. Super Micro, I mean, it's just up so much right now. It's just up so much. I'm sorry if I'm loud. I realize the mic is really close. Let me push it back some. 90-point gain on Palantir now. Have never sold ever. Dollar cost averaging. Hey, nice. Congrats. Great trade. Great trade. Coinbase, great earnings yesterday as well. We were going to stream these earnings, but again, with so much stuff going on and with the weird way they did earnings call, all right, so yeah, Coinbase EPS of 104. They expected a loss of a cent. Look at Coinbase's numbers, man. Genuinely impressive. Look at Coinbase's numbers here. So in my account, there are only $143, so I take sale or buy now. What? That's a very vague and ambiguous question, sir. It's all good. I'm trying to help, but again, I don't know what you should do with that account. If you only got $150, $140, you got a couple options. You know, you could buy an option contract, pun intended, I guess. You could buy an option contract for cheap, hope you hit it. It's a gamble. You might lose all of it. You can invest it in a blue chip, which is probably the safest move here, or an index fund or something like that. Although I don't know if right now is the best time for that because the market's up so much right now. You know, you could put it in fractional shares on something like Super Micro and hope you get another green day. Again, risky bet, but maybe you make money. I don't know. Or you could just kind of sit back and wait. I don't have any signals. I have no idea what you should do. No idea. Not an investment professional. Remember, I am terrible at this stuff. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Hey, nice, Daniel. Yeah, I saw a Cybertruck driving around my area yesterday. Don't spend it on a course. Most courses are fugazi nonsense. You know, personally. And it's weird, like, people, like, it's really weird with courses, right? Like, what you get a lot of the time with courses is this. You get people, like, it's confirmation bias, right? So if somebody buys a course, I've talked about this before, but if somebody buys a course, they're so biased in favor of what they spent their money on because they're trying to justify spending their money. So it's like if I have $1,000 and somebody talks me into spending my last $1,000 on $1,000 course or mentorship program, in my head, in my mind, I'm going to be like, hey, this was valuable. This was worth it. Nobody likes to admit they're wrong. Nobody wants to say, hey, I got ripped off. And so instead, they're going to say, hey, this was worth it. My $1,000 is worth it. This is the greatest course I've ever taken, they're going to say in their head. They know it's not. But, like, they're so desperate to justify that expense that they're saying, oh, greatest course ever. Greatest course ever. Sometimes they even, like, go even further and go from room to room, channel to channel, pumping up the course. It's kind of like almost like a pyramid scheme almost. You ever seen somebody get wrapped up in a pyramid scheme where they get talked into it, they lose a bunch of money, and then what do is they go try to talk their family into it. Their family gets talked into it, they lose a bunch of money, then they talk their family into it, and the cycle repeats. It's a very similar thing with people pushing courses, is that a lot of them know it wasn't worth it. They know it wasn't worth it. In their head, they know. Most of the content you find in courses, you could find on YouTube right now for free somewhere. But it's so hard to admit that for a lot of them because they got talked into it, and basically admitting that would mean admitting they got ripped off and they were a little gullible. And so a lot of them just, best course I've ever taken, greatest course ever, greatest mentorship program ever, you know. Will Super Micro come down, guys? I don't know. Honestly, it's up crazy. Super Micro is up crazy. It's up to over $1,000. Just to put this into perspective, if you want to know why everybody's been talking about Super Micro semiconductors, here's the yearly chart. What a crazy freaking yearly chart. This thing's up over 1,000%. Over 10x gains here on this one. It started the year off at $85, at 85.60s. What's worse than that is that prior to this year, right? Prior to this year, it was at, this is one of those rare stocks that was a penny stock. This thing in 2008 was it's not, even back then, that's not really a penny stock. This is one of those companies that have gone crazy. This thing was at under $10 back in 2018. Under $10 in 2018, it is now over 1,000. Almost up to 1,100 if it continues. So crazy movement, crazy gains. Congrats to anybody that made money on it. I'm like I told people yesterday, it's kind of like picking up money in front of a train track, right? That's why buys are still coming in for this, is because people understand, like, they want the train to keep, they want the money printer to keep on churning here. And so they keep buying it. Eventually it's going to stop, you know. As to quote Margin Call, eventually the music stops, you know, referencing musical chairs. But no, sorry, Jay. No, sorry, bro. There's no way for me to vet it, you know. And there's too many people, like I mentioned before. I'm not saying that's you, but there's just too many people, like I mentioned before, that they're not going to look at whether it was truly good. You know, they're desperate to justify their own expense, brother. And again, I'm not saying that's you. Because of that, I have a rule. We're not going to be pushing other people's courses, other people's channels. It's just, I can't trust it. Sorry, brother. So PPI is expected at 0.1%. So PPI expected at 0.1%. Core PPI is expected at 0.1% as well. They're both expected at 0.1%. Last time regular PPI came in at minus 0.1%. This time they're expecting positive 0.1%. Last time core PPI came in at positive 0.2%. This time they're expecting positive 0.1%. We also have consumer sentiment data at 10 a.m. this morning. So a lot of stuff dropping. Do we have consumer sentiment data? What's today? The 16th. All right. Oh, we got Michigan consumer sentiment. Okay, it's not the biggest, but it's something. We got housing starts as well at 8:30. Building permit data as well at 8:30. So a lot of stuff coming out. Well, John, what do you think about the stat that the market corrects every 71 trading days and we are at 83? It is like the earthquake stats. I think that I've never heard that stat, number one. It might be true. I'm not sure. What I do think, though, is that I think we're probably a little extended on the upside, but historically that doesn't necessarily mean everything. Like, there's also a very good chance that the market continues to go up. I'm not sure. Again, I told people a few days ago, I'm not buying anything right now. Like, the market is just up way too much for me to feel comfortable taking, like, investing, or especially like swing trading. Like, I am not buying up anything in swing trading right now. If we get some big pullbacks in something, maybe. But again, I'm not buying up anything. All right, so we updated it. PPI is expected to show up at 0.1% month over month for both regular and core PPI. This big release drops at 8:30 right here. We also have a bunch of other stuff too, but yeah. Are you trimming NVIDIA before the earnings call? I'm not really in NVIDIA directly. I haven't been. Again, I'm not in NVIDIA directly. My way of hedging against volatility here is like, my way of hedging against it is like, I watch NVIDIA for gains, but I also... I watch NVIDIA, but when I buy up stuff that is connected to NVIDIA but isn't NVIDIA directly to avoid risk. So I buy up other AI stocks to compensate and hedge against that. Look at Supermicro breaking highs again, up to 1060s right now. Just broke 1060s for Supermicro. 1060s. Coinbase still ripping up almost up to 190. Crazy. Look at Supermicro, guys. Rip. Craziness. All right, guys. So, look at Supermicro, guys, all the way up to 1070s. Craziness. And let's see NVIDIA. NVIDIA doesn't always move correlated with Supermicro, but we'll see. It is tech. Tech seems to follow each other a lot of the time, so we'll see if we continue. But look at Supermicro going crazy. Hey, my guy Money Mitch, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well today, bro. We're here early, brother. Good morning, man. Mitch, we got to know, what's your prediction for PPI today, brother? PPI, Producer Price Index Inflation Data, drops today at 8:30. We got my guy Money Mitch. Hey, Mitch, I'll have to talk to you, bro. I'm heading out. I'm not going to say where you are, but I'm heading out to not quite where you are, but close. I'm going to be hitting up the casinos this summer. And so we'll have to meet up, dude. Supermicro Semiconductors long. Hey, and if it was a couple weeks ago, Mitch, You're killing it on that call out, brother. That Super Micro has gone absolutely nuts too, man. It's been crazy big. You'll take the over? You think it's going to come in high? I gotta probably agree with you. I'm going to go with 0.2% is my guess for regular PPI. You know, Mitch, I don't know if you've been watching my stream, bro. Prior to the last CPI report, I got Tuesdays wrong. But prior to that, bro, I had gotten 4 CPI predictions in a row correctly. And I would love to say it was skill. I got super lucky, dude. You know, Mitch, I tell this story, bro, about baseball season last year, MLB season last year, you know. Now, I got to start it off with, so I bought my daughter minutes for her phone, and we're trying to set it up, and every time it goes, we've hit a snag, it's not working. We hit a snag, it's not working. And every time I would do it, every time I would try to process this, my daughter would say, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. We did it like 10 times. It would say it's not going to work. And so eventually on the last time I said, no, we're going to be positive. This next time it's going to work. It's going to go straight through and it's going to process. And my daughter was like, okay, sure. It's going to process. It's going to go straight through. We click the button. Boom. Very next time, done. Works correctly. All right. My daughter and I are sitting there tripping out like, what's going on? Baseball season that year, I noticed some weird thing. Every time I would put on a game, right, I'd turn on MLB, the next person at bat would hit a home run. And it got to the point where it was weirding me out, but I hadn't mentioned anything to my wife and daughter. And so one day we're all laying in bed, my wife and daughter are in the room, and I tell them, I'm like, hey, like the last like 3 or 4 times I've put on the MLB, the next person at bat hits a home run. And so they're like, okay, let's test it. And so we put it on, we put a game on, and it's an Angels game. I think it's, let me see. It was, Taylor Ward is up to bat. Taylor Ward is up to bat in an Angels game. And sure enough, you know, the next pitch, after we turn the game on, he hits a homer in left field, you know, straight over the fence. And they freak out. Eventually it stopped working. And I'm not saying I believe in the law of attraction. I'm not saying that. But that's the closest I've ever been to believing that, you know. It was weird. It was super weird. Eventually, it stopped working, though. And we did eventually get our CPI report wrong on Tuesday. But today, for our PPI report today, we're going to go with 0.2%. All right. We also got jobless claims right last week. So, hey, we'll see if it keeps it up. Yeah, hey, for sure. I'm going to Vegas this year, for sure, you know. Super Micro just broke highs again. It's at 1070s. Yeah. No, I'm listen. The only sport that I feel comfortable putting bets on is MMA. Like, I know MMA and UFC well enough to put bets on them sometimes. I'm not recommending you guys do. Don't sue me. Not a betting professional over here, but the only one I feel comfortable with is MMA. People in the UFC, a lot of people don't realize how powerful wrestlers are, and so if you get like a big striker versus a big wrestler, usually the wrestler's going to win. And you know, you don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's always got a puncher's chance, but typically on a macro view, like when you zoom out, wrestlers are going to beat the strikers most of the time, right? And so there's some discrepancies in betting that allow you to take advantage of that, is kind of what I do. Hey, for sure. Bro, I made $1,000 from non-farm payroll, but I realized that I cannot do chart analysis. So, bro, can you give me a suggestion what to do? I mean, undefined, it's pretty vague question, brother. I'm not sure what you really want from me there. You know, I'm not sure. Can you give me a suggestion on what to do? With $1,000, if you have $1,000, brother, and you don't know how to trade, I would invest that money. I would understand blue chip value investments. Right now, the market's incredibly extended. I'm not buying up anything right now. It's just too high. I think we need a correction before I start buying anything up. And again, I'm not a market professional. Remember, all right, guys, remember, I am terrible at this stuff and have no idea what I'm talking about. Do not copy me. No idea what I'm talking about. All right, I'm terrible at this stuff. Do not copy me. No idea. But still, If I had $1,000 and I didn't know how to trade, I would probably diversify into like 5 hand-picked blue chip stocks. I would wait for a big pullback, diversify into 5 blue chip stocks when the market was pulling back some over a longer period of time, and buy those and sit on those long term. You know, if you hold those long enough, you're almost guaranteed to make money. It might take years, but on a macro view, the market goes up long term, and so you can't. That's the biggest edge you'll ever have, especially if you don't know how to trade or if you've never really invested like that. Tesla isn't extended though. I don't know. I mean, Tesla. I'm in Tesla right now. We were patient. Originally, we bought Tesla at 190s. It dipped down to 180s, and we sat in that losing, for like $500 or more in this trade. We were patient though. We waited. Yesterday or a couple days ago, it bounced back up to like 190s. It bounced back up to 195s to where I was basically flat in the position. And so when it did that, I took like a chunk of the trade off just for risk management purposes. Like I unloaded a big piece of it just to protect myself, like risk management wise. I think it was the right move, even if it ends up going up, which it did. Anyways, we ended up waiting for the rest, and eventually we're still holding a decent position, but as we started to push up yesterday into the high 190s into 200, we took some more off, and now we're probably going to take a little bit more off on Tesla as well. All right, so we just took another, we took a little bit, we took about a quarter off just now. But we're still holding our base position in it. I just don't trust it. Tesla's so freaking volatile. A lot of recalls. I don't trust Elon either. Like, I like Tesla as a company, but my guy Elon is just crazy on social media. He says super outspoken, super polarized stuff. And I think if you're selling things to consumers, it's just a bad move. I think that if you're the CEO of a company, you have to be neutral in those things. You can't be polarized, because what's going to happen if you're selling things to consumers is you're going to ostracize a large percentage of your customer base. I'm very neutral politically. I don't like the game of politics at all and kind of just stay away from all of it. But I think Elon, he's selling things to consumers. He, more than anybody, should be neutral, and he's not. And that is a vulnerability for Tesla long term. Although I do like Tesla technology, and to say positive things about it, I think if full self-driving is accomplished successfully, that's going to fundamentally change automotives in driving. It's going to fundamentally change driving in automotives. My daughter says she's nervous about parallel parking. We were watching the Wonder Years, and my daughter says she's nervous about parallel parking. I told her by the time she's driving, she might not even need to parallel park. Some of these cars park themselves at this point in time. And so I think in 10, 15 years into the future, I think full self-driving is going to be out there, and it's going to be efficient. I don't know when the efficiency is going to take place, but I think it's going to be out there and it's going to work. And I think it's going to be what a majority of cars on the road, what they're doing is they're driving themselves. And I think especially like 20 years into the future, I think that's inevitable after a certain amount of time. With the current FSD technology we have now, still, there's going to be some road bumps that might be volatile for Tesla. But if Tesla can stay on the forefront of that technology, which is a big if, but if they can stay on the forefront of that technology, I think whoever's at the front of that technology is going to be one of the most successful companies in the world. And so I think that's the nuance and lens you got to look at Tesla under. And it's an interesting thing because, again, super outspoken on social media. I don't trust what he says in that regard. But if he's on the front of that technology, it could do really well. So, again, it's a big coin flip, I guess. But I guess I'll make that bet. Yeah, and again, I'm not going to delve too deep into politics, Yair. I certainly understand what y'all are saying, though, for sure. But, like, Elon's just too... Again, to be fair, I always talk about some of the stuff that I'm right on. I was certainly wrong about Tesla Tesla was at $100, like a year ago. Tesla was at $100, and I didn't want to buy it. I was nervous. This is a period in time where Tesla had dropped for 6 months straight, from 400 down to 100. So it had dropped, 75 100% down to $100. And this was another period of time where he was really outspoken on social media. I just didn't trust it at all. In hindsight, it's up 100% from that. But yeah, it's kind of, it's a very similar thing to like, and I was certainly wrong about Tesla for sure. And I made money on the upside, and I like Tesla as a company. And again, if it can get on the forefront of that FSD technology, it's going to do big things. The question is whether Elon's the head of the company at that point in time. Again, big if. It's very similar to like Meta. I counted Meta out completely. I thought Meta was sketchy at $100, and it even more so than Tesla has had crazy gains over the last year and a half. AI took off on Meta, and if you look at Meta here, Meta has done crazy things. Crazy things. Meta up to almost 500. But again, I didn't trust this either. This was on the coming off the heels of Mark Z losing $10 billion in the metaverse in 2022. A lot of people were skeptical. Instagram was losing steam. TikTok was taking off. Mark Zuckerberg was putting big bets and losing on the metaverse, losing billions and billions of dollars. I thought Meta was vulnerable. And then we had the AI boom and just ripped up in my face, was wildly wrong about it. And now it is up from $100 to $500. It's up 400% right now. So just crazy gains for Meta too. Another one that I was wildly wrong. If Mitch is still there, Mitch remembers telling me, Mitch told me to buy Bitcoin at $3,500. $3,500. Mitch told me to buy Bitcoin. I'm still kind of mad I didn't, but it's all love. But I'm still mad I didn't. Would have taken that bet, I would be set for life. Hey, what's up, Edward? Hey, good morning, brother. My whole family works in oil and gas. So does mine. I mean, I'm from Louisiana. I live in Houston. I'm from Louisiana. Like, a lot of my family works in oil. I think there's always going to need, it depends on what type of oil we're talking about, though. You're always going to need lubricants and lubrication. Lubricants and lubrication they are a little bit more resilient towards this type of stuff. Like lubricants, you're always going to need it. Petro is different, though. Petro is the other arguable thing. And again, there's no reason that full self-driving can't be put in a gas car either. I think that's something that you're going to see eventually as well. But we're always going to need lubricants. It's just what happens to Petro is the story. I think EVs are so efficient that eventually they're the future. I think that's a very obvious thing. I think EVs. Listen, I grew up racing. Like, I was kind of a JDM tuner guy. I had like an H22 Honda Prelude with VTEC. Was my favorite car ever. I told the story about losing that in Hurricane Gustav the other day. I'm from Louisiana. I lost my favorite car in a hurricane, unfortunately. But I would race and go to the track and maybe do some other racing too. But yeah. And so I'm a racing guy, and so that is one aspect that I'm really sad seeing. Again, if you strip down a Tesla Plaid, it's doing an 8-second quarter mile. That's gonna beat any freaking tuner car on the road right now, and it's gonna be silent while it does it. And so, I think you have to look at it in terms of efficiency, because efficiency typically wins over time. And I think EVs they're quiet. They put out less emissions, although mining lithium is certainly bad. But we're going to mine lithium anyway. You see it in batteries for drones. You see it in all these different technologies. So lithium mining is going to get done regardless of whether it's done for EVs, although it will be certainly more output with EV necessities. But anyways, they're faster. They're quiet. They put out less emissions. They mesh better with technology. And the mileage is going to get better and better and better. The only hiccup with EVs is charging. Charging them. If you don't have your own home and have a charger in your garage, charging can get kind of slippery and tricky. But anytime a new technology breaks out, there's always speed bumps. You saw it with the carriage to transition to actual automobiles in the early 1900s. There were weird periods of time where you had both carriages and cars on the road that caused problems, laws, all these weird stuff happening. And again, anytime you get a new tech breakout, you can have speed bumps, for lack of a better word. But I think over time that's going to get better. The other thing you have to consider, though, is that big oil runs the world, right? So big oil certainly recognizes the threat of EV, and they're going to put out, for lack of a better word, propaganda against EVs. They're going to put out all these things trashing it because they recognize the threat that it is, and their entire business model, At the same time, I'm always going to love internal combustion motors and gas-powered vehicles. There's no better feeling than hitting the gas, shifting something with gas-powered cars. Like, my first car was a 5-speed. There's no better feeling. And 5 speeds and manual transmissions are almost obsolete. But yeah, look at Super Micro testing the high up there. Testing the high at 1070s right now. 1070s. Just broke highs, hit 1073. 1073. But who wants a silent car? Yeah, 100%, Mitch. I'm with you, bro. I need, like, I'm going to miss it, too. I'm going to miss it. It's so unfortunate, though, because it's like, times have changed with driving and racing so much over the last 10 years, brother. Like, times have changed. Again, back in the day, you used to be able to get, like, back in the day, the best car you could buy for your money was a Subaru WRX STI. I love those cars. I love those cars. Right? They did, like, a 12-second quarter-mile stock. They would beat mostly everything on the road. Teslas are now that car, though. Now a base Model 3 stripped down to alleviate the weight will beat almost anything on the road. You know, a Tesla Plaid is not even question. It's going to beat most things on the road. And so it's this way. It's almost like, I hope it doesn't get rid of racing altogether. I think very soon what we're going to see here, team, is we're going to see Formula One. We're going to see NASCAR starting to test EVs and electric vehicles for their roads. Now, I think that's going to be a long time coming. I think that's going to be not a long time coming. I think that's going to take some time because I think that's going to be a difficult transition. But I think eventually we're going to see something like that because, again, EVs are faster. They're obviously faster. And, again, I'm kind of disappointed in it. I like cars, you know. I picked a 93 Del Sol. Yeah, those little tiny cars, bro. They were fun. Yeah, my boy had a 240 SX that he bought the Sylvia motor for and swapped it out and then started running super high boost. Blew his motor within a couple weeks. I remember telling him not to do it. I remember being like, yo, you got to use Sylvia motor. If you want to boost something crazy high like that, you're going to have to rebuild the motor, lower the compression, you know. And he didn't listen. He blew the motor very quickly within like 3 weeks, unfortunately. You know, most cars, except for Sylvias, on the other hand, are pretty resilient to that. But you can't just run infinite amounts of boosts and think that the motor's going to hold. You know, you want to run super high boosts like that in anything. You're going to lower the compression, rebuild the motor, get better pistons, rods, all that stuff. And if you don't, you run the risk of just destroying your motor. My first was a 94 Eclipse. I'm not going to say what mine was because I think that's kind of, I think there's too many questions that ask what your first car is. So I'd rather not tell people what my first car was. S2000 with spoon engines, Motec system exhaust. Yeah, I think Tesla's beating a lot of legacy cars, and I'm really kind of sad about it, dude. DraftKings, didn't they have earnings yesterday? How did they do? I missed them. A lot of people were optimistic on them because of the Super Bowl and stuff like that. DraftKings down a little bit. Again, my problem with DraftKings was this. My problem with DraftKings is this. Look at Supermicro still breaking highs at 1070s. But my problem with DraftKings is this. Is that I think too many people had that prediction. And I think what we see here a lot of the time is we see deep extension. Here's a yearly chart. This is just 1 year of DraftKings. It's gone from a little bit over $15 all the way to $45 in a year. You know, this thing is up, what is it, 17 times 3? This thing is up hundreds of percent in the last year. And so, despite strength, I think it was just a little extended on the upside, personally. And again, I think people are already buying this in anticipation of the Super Bowl hype and everything like that. I think that's why we see such big gains in this one over the last 6 months. But again, with that, it's extended. Technically, it's a little bit too high up, and that was my thesis before earnings, and I think I was right because earnings came out for DraftKings. Earnings did drop yesterday with Coinbase. They came in still losing per share, so they're not profitable yet. And they raised their guidance, so they had positive guidance numbers. They had adjusted EPS, big beat, missed sales, beat EPS, raised guidance, and still went down. So again, I think my thesis was right. CRXs, the fun thing about CRXs are tiny. Like my Honda Prelude was my favorite car ever. CRXs are just so small that you can strip them down, throw a big motor in them, and they're going to beat a lot of stuff on the road. Like they're just so tiny. Right, exactly. Stock EVs running 8 to 9 second quarter mile stock. You know, it's crazy. So no matter how much you throw in a tuner car, it's just not going to beat that, unfortunately. And it's a sad time for racing. It really is. It's a sad time for racing. K20 swap EG with custom N90 supercharger out the hood. Yeah. I always like superchargers more than turbos, although it depends. Yeah, dude. So OpenAI announced Sora. It's text to video. So I'm assuming that you don't have access to Sora, right? I have an OpenAI account. Let me see. I'm assuming Sora's not out yet. Right? Alright, team. Hey, we got 400 people here already. It's not even 7:30 yet. What's up, team? Appreciate the love. Slap that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Nvidia up to 737s. Coin up big. Coin had crazy good earnings. Tesla up a lot as well. Trying to see what else I'm up on. Like, I'm up on a bunch of stuff. Delta Airlines, I'm up. I'm not really super extended in anything. I'm gonna start taking some profit in some stuff though, just because I can. Right, so we're cutting some of our positions now. I think we're just up a little bit too much for my tastes here. We're gonna unload the SPY position that we've been in. Unloading that. We just had already like a really good year, and maybe we'll add some back on a pullback. But Apple, we're gonna liquidate some of our Apple trades too. I'm trying to see what the big blue chip stocks are. We're gonna liquidate half of our Apple positions. What else do we need to do? I'm trying to see what I'm big position size did. I'm in Baba. I'm pretty much flat in Baba, and it's up a lot today. We're in Disney. Disney's flying up still. We'll hold that. Coca-Cola. Alright, so we're going to unload some KO as well. Cut that. Cut a little bit more. Yeah, we're liquidating. Like, over the last week, we've gotten out of a lot of stuff. MGM, we're in MGM, we're green. We could just hold that, just small. Microsoft, our average price is $312. We're going to hold that too. Oracle. I'll take some more off on Oracle. Gonna liquidate some of this as well. Alright, cutting that. Getting rid of a lot of this stuff. Snapchat, we're flat. PayPal, we're up. Palantir, we're nicely green in that one. We can probably keep holding that one. Nike, we're green in Nike. Microsoft, we're in that one. MGM, Home Depot. Wait, doesn't Home Depot drop earnings tomorrow? I'll have to consider what I want to do there. ExxonMobil, Walmart, Walgreens, Tyson Foods. Alright, I think that'll be it for now. I think we're not going to take any more off. We're just going to stay on the rest. Nothing else is too big. Yeah, I saw those videos, Beach Bum. It was dope, man. I'm interested when it's going to come out, though. All right, so the country's officially in a recession right now, where the UK, Japan, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Luxembourg, Moldova, Peru, and Ireland. What other countries are next? I don't think we're there yet. Okay, so if there is an alien living among us, it's Vitalik. Certainly, it's Vitalik, the ETH founder. If there is an alien, it's him. All right. If Men in Black is real, Vitalik's the alien. Wait, does Netflix have ads now? All right, we got 450 people here live. We still got an hour before PPI drops out. This is Toss, Think or Swim. Okay, so this guy is just kind of posting. Yeah, good day to you, sir. He's a bot. What? How desperate do you have to be to like spam other people's channel over and over and over again? It's like, dude, like, stop scamming people, bro. I've seen him in person, and yeah, he is a Martian, 100%, dude. Again, we watched Men in Black with my daughter not too long ago. Vitalik's gonna be in the next one. Honestly, genius, dude. Like, super smart. And again, sometimes there's like when I was young, like, and my son's the same. I was super socially awkward. I'd get really like obsessed with different things, and like. Whenever I was in front of large groups of people, I would get really, really nervous, you know. And I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm top 3 dumbest people ever. But sometimes I think there's a positive correlation with intelligence and kind of... there's a negative correlation between intelligence and social skills, right? And I think that is very evident with Vitalik. Like, he's not the best socially, but he's super smart dude. Super smart dude, so. Hey, what's up, Pawn? What do y'all think real estate's going to do? Commercial's in a struggle right now. Interest rates are still freaking high. Again, okay. I think if there is going to be a big correction, commercial has been just dumping down. What you're seeing a lot right now is you're seeing people transition commercial properties to residential. They're finding unrestricted territories and land, and they're taking what were once commercial properties that they couldn't sell. They're transitioning them into townhomes, apartments, or houses, and then they are selling them for 30-40% gains. That's something that you're seeing a lot right now in real estate. They're flipping commercial to residential transitions, and it's like a big hot niche right now. The question is, what happens to commercial long term? I'm very skeptical of commercial. Again, what happened? I think Mitch even posted a video not too long ago about the same concept here for sure. But I'm skeptical because commercial's been struggling for years, since 2020 essentially. All right, sorry. Carol came to talk to me. Aren't DraftKings earnings already out, Jay? BLK propping up real estate. Yeah, again, the problem is this. Okay, here's the problem. And we got over 500 people here. We still got an hour before PPI comes out. The problem with real estate is this. Is that businesses, historically, if they wanted to run, let's just use customer service representative business as an example, like a CSR business. There's a few problems now with commercial. The first one is that after 2020, businesses recognized that remote work can be just as profitable, even more profitable. There's less expensive rent. You don't have to throw 100 people in a warehouse and build your own call center anymore to get the same amount of work done. Instead, you could allow them to work remotely, better margins, less rent payments, and ultimately, after 2020, since it was a necessity for that to happen, business owners realized they didn't need to risk all that stuff to get the same thing done, right? The other part of that is that AI is going to replace CSR reps to a certain extent. You're always going to need some humans to actually do it, but a lot of it's going to be replaced by AI now. And so all of those things combined are going to trickle into more and more commercial prices dropping. More and more commercial prices dropping. And that's what we've seen over the last 3 years. And I don't know if we're ever going to go back to conventional commercial real estate like it was. We don't need commercial real estate in that regard. And that's a natural consequence of technology. Technology has grown so much to where a lot of businesses that work in that way are obsolete now versus the technology, remote work, things like Slack, things like Zoom, things like Discord even. A lot of those are replacing conventional warehouses and stuff like that. You just don't need them anymore. And when you extrapolate that over a long period of time, I think it's bad for commercial. And I think that's what we've seen over the last few years in commercial, which is significant decreases in price, significant decreases in sales, significant decreases in use case arguments for commercial. And so, yeah, I think that's something that we can't ignore moving into the future is what happens to commercial and what is the trickle effect from commercial to everything else. What happens to everything else from that? Maybe it'll benefit residential, but the real estate sector as a whole is bad right now. As a real estate agent myself, real estate's in trouble. And it has been for a year plus now. Mortgage rates are over 8%. in some places, and again, if you ask a real estate agent or if you ask a mortgage broker, they're going to say, hey, everything's fine, just refinance or whatever it is. No, that's not okay. Like, you don't need to do that. Like, that's a bad thing right now. It's a bad move. Real estate agents, mortgage brokers, they're going to tell you to buy no matter what, regardless of whether it's a good time or not. And the significant amount more that you're paying now in mortgages versus 3 years ago is profound. It's high. It's a lot more. To put it into perspective, 3 years ago interest rates were 2.5%, 3%. Now they're 8%. You're going to pay so much more to mortgage a home. The conventional appeal of getting a mortgage in general is that you could get a home, you could own the home, and you're going to pay less than you're paying in rent to rent that property. Right? You're going to have to put up thousands of dollars in a down payment, and you're going to have to build your credit and all that stuff. But the reward of those things is that you're going to own a home and pay less each month. Right? That is no longer true anymore. That's not true anymore. Right now, you're going to pay way more to get a mortgage than you are in rent. Interest rates are 8% right now, 7.5%, 8%, and you're paying over 2x what you were paying 3 years ago. We're seeing a natural decrease in sales for real estate. Less people are buying right now unless they're paying cash. You're seeing better cash offers, but worse property, sales in general right now. And so that's a bad sign. And who knows when interest rates are going to drop. I know a lot of mortgage professionals and a lot of real estate professionals that simply kind of went out of business. It really is kind of like that post effect of 2008 where you had a bunch of mortgage brokers loving life, getting rich, making money, and then post 2008, a lot of them didn't make it, unfortunately. And so, it's a tough time. And again, the question is, when do interest rates start coming back down? Typically, they're going to start dropping when we start to get rate cuts. And so a lot of people are really pushing for early cuts, dovish Fed, all that good stuff, because they want rates to come back down. And this all is related to FOMC rate hike decisions, the Fed, all those things. Because again, when the federal funds rate is cut, banks lower interest rates to consumers sometimes because they have better margins now, and that eventually trickles into mortgage brokers and their interest rates, right? And so if you want interest rates to go down, you want a dovish Fed, you want earlier rate cuts, but I'm not sure we're going to see that anytime soon, especially with what Powell said in the last FOMC meeting, where he said that we might need sustained pauses. He doesn't think we're going to be as dovish, especially not in March, especially not anytime soon, essentially. And I think with the inflation data coming in higher than expected the day before yesterday confirms that, which is that it's too early to cut rates. It's simply too early. We're not going to see rate cuts like a lot of these real estate professionals want right now. And again, as a real estate, I'm not trying to sell you guys a house. As a real estate agent, I am a real estate agent, so I understand these nuances as well, and it's just an interesting time. Yeah, I'm not streaming DraftKings earnings, Jay. We got much bigger things, specifically PPI. Yeah, so here's a question, Mitch. When do you think they're going to cut rates, brother? A lot of people thought it would be in May. I think if we look at the watch tool, less people are thinking it's going to be in May. Most people think it's going to be in June now, I think, right? So let's look at June. So up until May. So again, 92% of people think we're going to continue to pause in March. Here's May. 65% of people think we're going to continue to pause. Here's June, right? June is when it finally pivots to where most people think we're going to start cutting in June, a little bit over 50%, but even still, we have 21% of people thinking we're going to cut 50 basis points there, but we still got 20 over that thinking that we're going to continue to pause. So there's even a chance that we don't start cutting in June either. And then it'll be August after that, I think, right? Or July, late July. So interesting. Supermicro is still bouncing up. Apple's still down there. Let's put the SPY up here, the Q. And the last of the summer, yeah, so July, that makes sense. Yeah, you were right there, Mitch, for sure. Because again, a lot of people were telling me March, and I always say that's way too early. Like, again, you got to listen to what Powell says. What Powell says is we are not out the woods yet. We're not even technically in a soft landing period yet. The risks are certainly still very high. The labor market's still pretty strong, even though he said we don't have to fear it. I disagree. I think a strong labor market is not good for inflation problems, and it means the Fed's going to have to remain hawkish longer than anticipated as well. So labor market's still very strong. Inflation's still kind of sticky, and we'll see what happens with PPI today in 45, 50 minutes with PPI, because, again, inflation's still higher than expected on Tuesday. We'll see. I don't think we see a cut in 24. Yeah. Hey, you might be right, Mitch. I think that makes logical sense by the Fed. 50 basis points once, and then a pause the rest of the time, most likely. I'm in Texas right now. I'm not really looking for clients, though, discipline. So I'm not really trying to market myself as a real estate agent. But I'm in Texas. Yeah, the TLT bonds, long-term bonds. Yeah, you can get some short-term bonds for pretty good deals right now. 10 years at almost 4.3%, which is not bad. 4.1% in Australia. July is the last chance they will get to reduce. After that would be considered politically motivated. Maybe. I have a strong feeling rates will drop for several months leading up to this. Yeah, I mean, typically election years are like that. They're going to raise in March? Nah, I don't think so, Ramsey. I don't think they raise in March, brother. I think the Fed's very balanced, and I think that raising rates would jolt the market, would just be such a hawkish thing. It's possible, though. I don't necessarily disagree that it might be the right move. And for those that don't understand what we mean by rate hikes, rate cuts, all that stuff. So it's a balancing act by the Fed, right? The Fed, they're combative tool for inflation. If inflation is too high, they raise the federal funds rate. By raising the federal funds rate, it makes banking more expensive. Eventually, that trickles into consumers, and consumers stop spending as much. And eventually, because of that lack of spending, businesses lower pricing, right? That's the cycle of it. So a more worse inflation market, the more hawkish, or the more the Fed is going to want a restrictive monetary policy and rate hikes by raising rates, trying to reduce inflation. If inflation is more so under control, right, then they're more likely to cut rates or remain dovish or stay dovish, which means an expanding monetary policy, no rate hikes, rate cuts, all that good stuff, right? But it's a balancing act, because if the Fed is too dovish, inflation can run rampant. If the Fed is too hawkish, recessions can happen, and the economy can tank. And so it's a balancing act where they don't want to be too polarized in one or the other, and they want to remain balanced, because too much of one could equal disastrous consequences in the economy and inflation, right? So it's a balancing act, and the Fed's job is to work on inflation. So that's kind of what this all means: rate hikes, rate cuts, dovish, hawkish monetary policy. And it's an interesting time, The last few years, the Fed has been incredibly hawkish, because inflation 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, was at almost 9%. And so inflation was rampant years ago. And the Fed, they were very hawkish. They raised rates really aggressively for years. And those rate hikes don't have an immediate effect. Typically, there's a lagging effect to this. So they don't happen immediately. They don't affect the economy immediately. They lag a little bit. And if we look back at what was happening a year ago today, the Fed was raising rates aggressively a year ago today. And so the question now is, when do those rate hikes over the last few years really start to hammer the market? What does that look like? What does inflation look like with all these rate hikes that are starting to take effect? And again, I don't know. I don't know. With PPI today dropping in over 40 minutes still, my guess is 0.2%, slightly higher than expected. And the question is, what does the market do? Again, Tuesday, CPI came in higher than expected as well. And one of the interesting things is that even though CPI came in higher than expected, an objectively negative sign, right? Even though CPI came in higher than expected, an objectively negative sign, still the market is up pretty big on those results. Tuesday was the 13th, and the market did dip a little bit on Tuesday, but we're now back to testing highs on the SPY. If we look at like a 10-day chart, we did drop on Tuesday, but the market is right back to business as usual since then, and we're right up to that high on the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF, futures ETF. So again, Very interesting market right now, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Sorry, dude, I have to go. I have a migraine, and your new mic is very painful. I mean, Jeremy, you might be able to just turn the volume down, brother. You know, sorry, man. You know, top 3 loudest YouTubers in the world right now. Yeah, dude. It seems like a pretty easy solution. Just turn your volume down, brother. Unless you're just trying to be negative, which is possible, I guess. But hey, it's all love, dude. Do what you gotta do, bro. Now, my new mic is too strong, apparently. Maybe I should turn it down. Really, it's too close to my face. Everybody's been telling me I'm yelling. I'm talking as loud as I always talk. But I think my new mic, I got this new blue Yeti microphone. And it's probably a little bit too close. Let me know if this is better. Wait, what am I posting here? Oh, okay, I see. Earnings-wise today, we had... What do we have for earnings? Tesla back over the volume-weighted average price. I always yell. I mean, I have to yell, you know. Top 3 loudest ever in the world. But yeah, if I'm too loud, just turn your mic down, guys. Or turn your headphones down, team. Simple solution. Yeah, it's all good, Jeremy. It's the compression. Yeah, I don't know how to deal with this thing. Either a double top or a new hard. So we got almost 700 people here live. During PPI, we'll have thousands. So, hey, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We did break 125,000 subscribers. With that said, though, team, I'm going to throw this bad boy in sub-only mode. If you haven't already subscribed, we appreciate it. Yeah, I did have a pop filter that I would have somewhere. We'll have to figure it out. I like the new mic, like it loud. I can always turn it down. Yeah, for sure. Supermicro's inability to file any financial statements for nearly 2 years. The company stock was suspended from trading and delisted in 2019 for accounting fraud. Yeah, but we're in a whole new, there's a whole new ball game today. Yeah, everybody announce yourself. Show us your sub. We appreciate it. You're very loud, but I watch this channel more often, so I reduce the volume. There's a way for me to mess with this. Hold on. I might be able to turn this down. Here. Oh, wait. Let me know if that's better. Is that better? Let me know if it's too low, too loud. Let me know what you guys think. It's not that you are loud. The volume has a high variance. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I turned it down. Let me know if that should help a little bit. Again, it's a new mic. It's a new mic. I got the other mic somewhere back there somewhere. It's louder? Is it really? Maybe I'm just talking louder. I don't know. Either way, it'll be all right, guys. Y'all will be okay. It might be the setting that I have the mic on as well. Perfectly good. All right, cool. Loud and clear. Got you. You guys are soft. Softest traders in the world right now. Nah. Yeah, it's all good. Don't let him hate on you. I appreciate the fact that you're loud and I'm listening in my car. I can barely hear any other YouTuber. Oh, well, good, man. Hey, we're doing our job here. All right, Lyft up to 19s, guys. Where was Lyft at? So Lyft has had a crazy good few days. I was skeptical of Lyft too, and I'll tell you why. All right. It is hot in my house. I was skeptical of Lyft. Oh yeah, Mitch, I'm gonna have to talk to you, brother. I thought about you the other day, dude. So my daughter is finally playing varsity softball as a freshman. My daughter's playing varsity softball, and she's good. You know, she's only there's only 2 other freshmen on the team, and she's great. She's a great fielder, and last year she was great at hitting the ball. This year, she's a little nervous. She's a little apprehensive. And there's some of the girls on her team that can just hit bombs, bro, that are just launching it over the fence. And she can hit it. She says she can hit it, and it'll land around the fence, but she can't quite hit it over. And she's wanting to hit home runs. So I was going to reach out to see if you had any tips, because I know that's like your thing. Yeah, better for you guys to turn it down. Yeah, for sure. You can always turn it down. Can't really turn me up more. This early green market fishy. Van says, bro, you're good. Are you trading the NASDAQ? I will be trading the NASDAQ for sure. New software defaults. Yeah, it's a new mic. We'll have to figure it out, guys. It's all good. But yeah, we actually got a bunch of stuff today. We have housing starts, building permits, PPI. We got Michael Barr, Fed Vice Chairman of Supervision. And then we've got consumer sentiment, Michigan consumer sentiment data at 10 a.m. So we got a bunch of stuff. We're also going to be doing a crypto show today. Just got a lot of stuff we're doing. Today's a very historic day in AI. Again, OpenAI debuting their, what is it? Sora? Is that a name? Sora, yeah. Debuting their Sora, which is a text-to-video AI processor. Powerful, powerful. Looks really great. This is going to make content creation so much easier for me. I'm super excited about Sora. I don't know when it's going to go live, but it's going to make content creation so much easier. Video specifically. Yeah, one of the things that, you know, you got to get more vertical and use your hips more. My daughter bats kind of like, if you ever seen Juan Soto, and she bats like Juan Soto, the same stance as Juan Soto, and kind of Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto-esque stance, where they're on their tippy toes, on their front foot, on their lead foot, they're on their tippy toes, really turned hip. And so I'm just trying to help her hit it over the fence. Yeah, Sora looks really cool. I'm super pumped for Sora. Yeah, do the Soto shuffle. She honestly bats exactly like Juan Soto. I'm a big Juan Soto fan, so when I see her stance, it looks exactly like him. You know? But yeah, we broke 125,000 subscribers, guys. 125K. Sora. Sora looks powerful. When's it going live? That's the question. Like, when does Sora come out? Like, don't tease me here, OpenAI. You know? John, regarding the commercial real estate market down there in Texas, how's the market? I'm very hesitant to give actual real estate advice here about Texas as a real estate agent. There's rules regarding real estate agents here in Texas, and so I'm not going to give you market related advice or real estate advice for Texas specifically. I'm not giving real estate advice at all. I'm top 3 worst real estate people in the world right now. But just because of the rules, like if I market myself as a real estate agent, which is why I tell people, somebody said, hey, I told them, hey, look, I don't want to be your agent right now. I'm not going to be my agent. So I'm not marketing myself. But if I did market myself, I would have to put up like my brokerage information and a bunch of other contact information that I don't really want to do. I don't really want to do it. And so because of that, I'm just going to kind of hang out and avoid certain topics in real estate to stay in compliance. Sorry, bro. You missed Coinbase earnings? I know, man. Again, the problem with Coinbase, I was going to stream it, but Coinbase, the earnings call was at 5:30 my time, or 5:30 market time. The earnings came out at 4. So there's an hour and a half lag in between them, and that was just too long. for Coinbase. I didn't feel like waiting that long. Plus, my son's sick right now. Like, my son Jack isn't feeling great, and so yeah. I didn't want to. I wanted to help my wife out. My wife's been kind of getting the brunt of my son being sick and taking care of him, not getting much sleep, and so yeah. Sorry, guys. Hey, thank you, P. Gold, buy or sell? I'm not going to tell anybody whether to buy or sell it. I appreciate the donation, brother. Thanks so much. It looks like two euros. I appreciate it, brother. And we can look at gold. I like gold long term. So long term, I love gold. I think it's one of the best inflation hedges long term. And if you look at like a long term chart since like 1975, it's a pretty good returns for gold. Right? But short term, it's volatile and it can do anything. I appreciate the donation, though. Thanks so much. Long term, I like it, of course. Short term, who knows what it's going to do. There's the SPY. Super Micro still at 1070s. Craziness. Here, craziness. Also, guys, check out one of my other sponsors. Top Step is one of my other sponsors. And if you want to day trade, you should be day trading futures, in my opinion. In the futures market, there's no PDT rule. You can day trade short, buy market, sell market, in pre-market, very similar to day trading stocks. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks and something like the E-mini. Like, I can essentially day trade the SPY price action in futures. This is gold futures on the right, so you can trade gold in futures as well. But you can also trade essentially the E-mini. Like, look, this is the same exact price action. This is a 30-minute chart. If I put up a 1-minute chart, you'll notice this is the exact same price action. Like, this is the same as this. Look, big run up, dip, big run up, dip. It's really the same price action. If I zoom out all the way, you'll see it's literally the same thing. Like, look, let me go to the left a little bit to show you guys. It's easier looking at the NASDAQ. So here's the NASDAQ, and then here's the Q, right? NASDAQ is the same price action as the Q. So look, it's the same thing. But I can day trade this right side. The liquidity is actually better as well. In futures, no PDT rule. Patterns are very similar to day trading stocks. There's just no PDT rule in futures. It's what most pro day traders do, and what most day traders should do is try out a funded account program. I'm going to preface it with I am biased because they pay me money and they're a sponsor of mine. But do not put up thousands of dollars yourself in trying to day trade in the beginning. You almost certainly will lose it, right? I don't care what course you take, who you follow, you're almost certainly going to lose your first few accounts day trading. And so it makes no sense to put up thousands and just lose it just to look cool in markets. Instead, try a funded account program in futures. You can day trade in futures, and there's no PDT rule. I can day trade short, buy market, no PDT rule. If I try to do it in stocks, I'm going to need 25,000. What these funded account programs, Top Step's the most legit one in the world. They're a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, but they're the most legit one in the world, in my opinion. What they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. So the base one, they give you a 50K demo and they test your skill with that. They give you a profit target, a max loss. If you can pass their test, and it's a reasonable ratio, you got to make 3K on the base one without losing 2K, a reasonable 2 to 3 ratio. And there's some other rules and stuff you got to follow. But if you can pass that test, they fund you 50K with a 90% split once you're funded. You get to keep your first $10,000 in profit for withdrawal as well. Free funding coaches, tons of great resources, and just taking the challenge builds your skill. And so again, I think most people are going to lose day trading. And so does it make sense to put up thousands of dollars? Of course not. You can get good at day trading, but try a funded account program first. It's a perfect middle ground. You still have some pressure. It's not the full extent, and you're only risking 50 bucks, but if you're good enough to get funded, you get a 90% split anyway. So it's similar to putting the money up yourself, just noticeably less risk. Although again, check all of this stuff with them. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor. But if you want to check them out, here's the link. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. Also, hit the sub button, guys. Let's keep growing. Let's push towards 130,000. Coinbase, rip it up right now. So look, you can kind of see the NASDAQ and the Q, same price action. Coinbase, almost up to 193 highs of pre-market. And we still got 30 minutes. We got about 800 people here live. Anyways, out of breath now. NVIDIA. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA, rip it up. Looking very similar to Super Micro. Coinbase is ripping up as well. Q is up there too. We're going to day trade futures. Try to react to what PPI does here. On the website, go to the link I clicked. Go to the link I clicked about the full list of futures. Yeah, go to the link I clicked and you should see, like, so look, if you go to the link I clicked and you go to our program, how it works, and you scroll down, You can find, if you trade with the best products, view the full list. View the full product list, and when you click that, it's going to show you everything that you can trade on there, which here's the list. You can trade, it all depends on what you're doing, but E-mini, NASDAQ, Russell, the NKD, the micro ETH, the micro E-mini, the micro NASDAQ, the micro Russell, micro Bitcoin, the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, E-mini, Euro FX, New Zealand dollar, peso, micro Euro FS, Swiss franc, British pound, hogs, cattle, crude oil, natty gas, platinum, heating oil, coin, wheat, soybean, mini Dow, 2-year bonds, gold, copper, silver, ultra bonds, all that good stuff. You can day trade all that stuff in futures, no PDT rule. That's why a lot of people don't realize this kind of benefit of futures is that you can day trade with limited red tape. You know, much less red tape than stocks. You try to day trade, if you try to day trade the SPY, you're going to need 25,000 plus in a margin account to do so freely. And so it just doesn't make sense to need that much money to do it. Futures much cheaper. How's Tesla holding up this pre-market? Tesla's doing pretty well. Yeah, y'all check out Beach Bum's channel. Go give that man a subscribe. Great swing trading and investing content for sure. Number will be better than expected. Trust me. I'm going to go with higher than expected. I'm going to go with 0.2%. Yeah, let me ask you a question. What's the best inflation hedge in the market right now? What's the best inflationary hedge in the market? What do you guys think? The best inflation hedge. What's up, Ali K? Yeah, Mitch is an old friend, man. Mitch and I have been trading buddies slash, you know, we did some business together, and now we're trading buddies and friends, you know. Went to his wedding and everything. Good friend, good dude. Smart guy, knows a lot about trading and investing. Go give that man a follow as well on Twitter. Go subscribe to his channel. I think he's going to be putting some content on his channel pretty soon, so give that man a subscribe on his channel. Maybe we'll try to get him on the stream. I'll reach out to him. Best inflation hedge is a wife. I got lucky with my wife, bro. My wife, she's not like, look, she's a great wife. You know, great mom, great wife. She doesn't like super fancy things, and I'm super appreciative of that. Like, she doesn't like super fancy things. Like, she doesn't want me to buy her super expensive jewelry or anything like that. And I've tried before, and she's not really, you know. And so I think I got lucky in that regard. All right, guys. All right, congrats. Yeah, let me check. All right, guys, NVIDIA all the way up to almost 740s. Yeah, I think right now I'm just grateful that yeah, I'm just grateful that on my end, I got a wife that's not super materialistic, you know. All right, so again, we are moving up. We got 23 minutes here, guys. 23 minutes. We got almost 900 people here live still. Top Step is the program I'm talking about. Check the link in the description. All right, guys. Hey. You guys ready? We got about 900 people here live. Lots of contracts expired today. Yeah, today's not quad witching day, I don't think. Who's malfunctioning? What, because I'm typing? Dude, I'm one of the top 3 best typers in the world right now. I'm out here writing an email. Don't judge me. Alright, guys. You guys ready? Yeah, Lyft is crazy high. I don't trust... Again, here's the thing. Uber, I think, is going to be such a big brand. And it already is. Uber's the alpha. I'm torn on whether I think Lyft is a discount buy or whether Lyft is going to be forgotten over long periods of time, right? Like, that's what I'm torn on. Let me see what Lyft's EPS and margins look like relative to Uber's. So if we look at Lyft's EPS graph on micro trends, and again, this is a company that's up 50% on the year, or 50% in the last week, I think they said. So yeah, neither one of them are profitable. BLK Advertising, so their EPS has gotten noticeably better. I think over the next couple quarters, we are going to see Lyft profitable. So again, you can kind of see, you can see this getting better and better, lower and lower losses, higher and higher profits. Still not quite profitable yet, but getting better for Lyft. We could look at Uber and see a similar thing here. Let's look at Uber. So here's Uber's same graph. Now, Uber's looking a lot healthier. Uber has been straddling profits over the last year or so. They were profitable, missed, so they've been profitable in 3 out of the last 4 quarters for Uber. So in terms of margins, Uber's looking better, right? And so that rings true that Uber's the alpha company in that regard, and Lyft is taking kind of a back seat. Let's take Lyft's revenue into consideration here. Revenue for Lyft has gotten higher and higher. Pretty nice looking revenue graph if we look at it. You know, over the last few years, Lyft's revenue looks solid. Let's take a look at Uber in the same way. Here's Uber. Uber's revenue graph looks arguably better though. So Lyft's problem is their margins, I guess. Lyft still struggling margin-wise. American says, dude, I live off $500 a month. Give me a break. I thought you were malfunctioning. I mean, I don't feel like I'm yelling at you, bro. I mean, listen, it's all right, bro. Live your life, dude. What do you think, bearish or bullish? About what, the market? I don't know. I guess I'm bearish. I think the market's just up so much. It's hard for me to stay bullish and all this stuff. It's just up so much, man. The market's up so freaking high. I'm nervous about the market. I think it's just up a lot, you know. What do you guys think? Hey John, how should indexes and gold behave ideally in case data comes higher? So again, PPI is not one of those reports that has a very obvious reaction. Sorry, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so PPI is not it's not a guaranteed response. Sometimes PPI can come in higher than expected and the market dips. Sometimes PPI can come in lower than expected and the market dips. I think this is one of those areas in which it's very difficult to predict what the market's going to do and how the market's going to behave. Even if we knew what PPI was going to show up as, I think the outcome regarding PPI varies in terms of these releases. Like, it varies. It's not always sensical, for lack of a better word, right? It's not always, it doesn't always make sense in terms of reactions. And that's ultimately true with a lot of these reports, earnings, CPI. CPI, usually higher CPI is bad, lower CPI is better, is good. That's pretty standard, but PPI is predictable in that way. So yeah, I don't know. Tesla's still ripping up. You love to see it. Tesla up. We did liquidate a lot of our positions today. So again, I think we're up a lot, and I'm skeptical to buy up anything right now. But who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows? Lyft taking a back seat, pun intended. I now realize something. Mostly what I use my phone for is texting. Yeah, I'm a big texter. I don't like. Hey, thank you, Ramsey, for the $5 dono. Thanks, brother. Topped, I'm loading. Maybe. I'm not going to short the top, but I'm certainly not buying up anything right now. Yeah, I don't like answering the phone. I think on what generation it is, it's a generational difference. Like, my generation specifically, like, millennials typically do not like to talk on the phone. I don't like talking on the phone. I'm much more of a texter. I like texting way more. It's just easier. It's less pressure. I don't have to sit on the phone. And I get tired, so I don't, a lot of the time, want to talk on the phone with people. The only people I really want to talk on the phone with, I'll talk to, like, one of my best friends in the world from Louisiana. I'll talk to him on the phone. I'll talk to my parents on the phone, family on the phone. And if I haven't talked to a friend in a long time, I'll talk to them on the phone. Business, I'll talk to them on the phone, but a lot of the time I'm texting in that way as well. It just depends. I'm just not much, I don't like answering the phone. I'm more of a texter. Shake Shack, I like Shake Shack. Shake Shack's actually pretty good. They've got a gluten-free burger, which is very good. Almost up to $100 a share. I don't know enough about the company to really invest in it like that, though. You know. Few decent earnings next week. We got McDonald's, Home Depot, and Nvidia are the big boys, along with some EVs with Rivian, Lucid, so forth. Dude, check the Q chart. Traded for a split second at 434.50s and then came back up. Yeah, that's not an actual. So what this is, look at Nvidia break highs. Nvidia at 741s. Let's look at Supermicro. I'm sure it's ripping up too. No, not quite. Look at Nvidia rip up to 740s, team. What's the lifetime high for this now? 746 is the new lifetime high for Nvidia. What a crazy move. But yeah, when you see orders like this, guys, just so y'all understand markets, this is just a random, not a glitch. It's just a rogue order getting filled. It's not true price action. When you see a big candlestick like this, it's just not true price action. So you just got to understand, you know, when you trade every day, you see these a lot. It's not real price action. So just a heads up. I wouldn't react to it like it's a real move. Yeah, Nvidia earnings next week. Maybe that'll be the correction. Who knows? I hate texting. It depends on how fast you can text. Right, exactly, Drake. That's kind of how I am too. Anybody that I have any business talking to knows I'm probably not going to answer it if you call me. Text is the easy way to do it. All right, guys. So so again, Tesla at 204.50s. All right, guys, we got 1,100 people here live. We still got over 10 minutes left. Nvidia ahead of PPI is churning up, breaking highs. I prefer talking, but I hate talking now. Talking, again, look, I've got kids, I've got a family, I've got business. I get tired. So I just get tired, man. You know. Like, I just get tired, and talking on the phone feels like work to me, is what it is. All right, guys, hey, we got 10 minutes. 10 minutes. But yeah, talking on the phone just feels like work. It depends on who it is and how much time I have. So. It's mathematically faster to have a convo on the phone rather than text. I don't know. I think there's a lot of nuance behind it. It depends. It's a lot more concentrated work to have a phone call where, you know, and there's just less pressure in text. I can text quickly and move on with my life versus a phone call where I basically have to drop everything for, right? I'm just not a big texter. How much would PPI affect gold? It's going to affect it some. PPI typically moves with broader markets, but it depends. Hey, thank you. Love from India. Hey, thanks so much. Rivian earnings. I don't know. Rivian is one of those stocks that I'm completely torn on. I think they have big backing at Amazon. I see Rivian trucks, and I like them a lot. I think they're cool trucks. But the other side of that is that I don't know if they're going to have the consumer base that they need to succeed in the short term, right? I just don't know if they have the delivery numbers and the consumer base necessary. But I like the trucks. I think they're really fast. I think they're really cool trucks. And I think they've established a niche of business outside of what other people are doing effectively. And so I'm torn. I truly am pretty neutral on Rivian. I don't know. I hope it succeeds in general, but I really don't know if it's going to. You think the Dixie dumps? The Dixie's going to dump if the market rips up. So thinking the dollar index is going to fall is basically saying the market itself is going to push up. They aren't scaling. Yeah. Judo chop it. There you go. You gotta judo chop it.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm doing.
Alright, I love you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Here, Maddie, I've got economic data. Alright, guys. More clarity when talking, snapshots. Yeah, I mean, I don't ever text anything that could be used against me. With the same thing, if somebody's taking pictures of text, they could also voice record calls, and so it's not any better. Hey, yeah, hit that like button. My son's feeling all right. He's feeling better than he did, that's for sure. All right, guys. Hey, we got PPI data going live soon. We got about 1,200 people here. We still got 7 minutes. 7 minutes until it's live. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. The reason we have thousands of people here when this data reports is because we cover it quickly. Guys, we cover it fast. And so if you haven't already, hit that sub button, hit the notification bell. PPI data. Expectations are 0.1%, guys. 0.1% for PPI. Again, we'll see if we hit it or not. 0.1%. Higher or lower, guys? Let me know right now in chat. Do you think it comes in high or low? I'm going to go with 0.3%. Or no, I'm going to go with 0.2% is my guess. 0.2. Higher, gold up, high. PPI is trending down. Yeah, I'm going to go with 0.2%. I don't know, though, for sure. CPI came in higher than expected on Tuesday. And so maybe we're going to see some nuance from it in that way. We got 6 minutes left, team. 6 minutes. We got 1,400 people here. John, I think you like talking. You talk every morning on here. I believe you don't like having a convo on the phone. I bet you're more comfortable with a mic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it depends. You know, you would be surprised at how I am outside of this live stream. I'm actually not a very outgoing person. I can be outgoing and I can seem outgoing, but I don't necessarily like large crowds, big groups of people being the center of attention, which might shock a lot of people. Growing up, I was very shy. You know, even with like girls and stuff, like I was very shy, very nervous, didn't like large groups of people, didn't speak a lot, didn't talk a lot. You know, I think it kind of worked out for me with some girls because they thought it was like mysterious. They thought like, oh, John's got options. He's not talking to us like all these other guys. It really just had to do with me being super freaking shy, you know? Eventually I kind of grew out of it because of like the friend group I had was like forced me to grow out of it. But I don't know if I would call myself necessarily outgoing. I think I can look outgoing, but I'm not. If I had the option of being around a lot of people or being by myself, I would pick by myself, you know? So it's hard to explain, but yeah. I don't think I'm an extrovert, is what I'm saying. Anyways, NVIDIA pulling back a little bit, super micro. Every number the Fed puts out gets a correction. Sometimes I actually have I have the debater personality type. Yeah, so I have a debater personality type. So if you don't know, like the debater personality type, I guess it kind of sounds like me. All right, guys. Hey, PPI dropping soon. Yeah, I have an ENDP, which is extroverted, intuitive thinking, and prospecting. So I guess they think I'm extroverted. When I answered the personality test, it did. Quick-witted and audacious people with the ENTP personality aren't afraid to disagree. In fact, they're not afraid to disagree with pretty much anything or anyone. Few things light up these personalities more than a bit of verbal sparring, and if the conversation veers into controversial terrain, so much better. It would be a mistake, though, to think that ENTPs are disagreeable or mean-spirited. Instead, people with this personality type are knowledgeable and curious with a playful sense of humor and can be incredibly entertaining. They have an offbeat, contrarian idea of fun, one that involves a healthy dose of spirited debate. I'm quoting the website on debater personality types like I have. I guess that's true. I'm not sure. Again, I think the Myers-Briggs personality type or personality tests in general are questionable. I think that they've moved on to a different type of personality grouping system versus the Myers-Briggs, which is what the debater personality type has to do with. Anyways, we got 2.5 minutes until PPI inflation data. Again, CPI data came out Tuesday. It came out higher than expected. It wasn't super high than expected, but the market did dip. It finally called back up today to the levels that we were at prior to it. I'm going to put up gold, the Q, and then I'm going to put up the SPY or the E-mini on the right side. So we got the SPY on the right, the S&P 500 futures contract. We got the Q, basically the NASDAQ 100 on the left. Or actually, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to put the SPY up and then put the NASDAQ 100 futures contract on the right. So gold, SPY, NASDAQ 100. Let's see what we get. But data drops in 2 minutes, team, 2 minutes. Hey, what's up, team? Higher PPI means higher inflation, typically. But we don't know what it's going to be. My guess is 0.2%. 0.2% is my guess. But again, I have no freaking idea. Coinbase still moving up. We got a minute and a half left, about a minute left. I mean, I tried my best to be honest about it, and I think that personality type makes sense. I think that fits well. I mean, would you guys agree that that sounds like me? I don't know. I know I like to debate. I like a good spirited debate for sure. I don't know if it's, you know. Anyways, what happened with the Q chart? Nothing. NASDAQ, SPY, gold, all pulling back a little bit. We've got about a minute left, a little bit less than a minute actually. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream, team. Hit the live button. You want to make sure your red live button next to the play button is red. If it's gray, it's delayed. You can also put it in fast forward mode, but you want to make sure to hit the live button to make sure you're fully caught up. We got about 35 seconds left, 35 seconds. Again, expectations are 0.1%. I'm going to go with 0.2%. Good one, Harsh. Hilarious, bro. Tesla, break it down. It's at 203s. We got 20 seconds. 20 seconds. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. 5 seconds. And here's the report right now. Right now. Building permits. PPI came in at 0.3%. 0.3% for PPI month over month. Higher than expected at 0.3%. 0.3% month to month. Building permits came in at 1.47 million. Lower than expected. Housing starts came in at 1.331 million. Lower than expected. PPI came in higher than expected at 0.3% month to month. Higher than expected versus 0.1% expected. So again, 0.3% month to month. Higher than expected. I'll put this number up on screen. 0.3% month to month higher than expected for PPI data here. What do you guys think of this? The market is reacting negatively in everything. Gold is down. The Q is down. The SPY is down. The NASDAQ is down. Let me know what you guys think. We got about 2,500 people here. So what's up, team? Again, here's PPI data. We also had housing starts lower than expected. Building permits lower than expected. Yeah, big dips, big drops. Dixie's probably bouncing right now, no? So let's look at the dollar index. All right, so we're going to get ready to try to maybe trade this move. It did come in 2 points higher than expected. Dixie's bouncing back here. We've got the NASDAQ 100 futures contract. We're going to get ready to day trade this as well. And before we get started day trading, guys, like I always tell you, remember, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Always remember, not liable if you lose. All that good stuff. Check it out. Anyways, we're going to get ready to day trade. And in the futures market, you can day trade the NASDAQ 100 futures. Basically, the QQQ price action, and there's no PDT rule. You can day trade short. This is the micro, and so I'm not sure what I want to do with this. If you want to day trade, though, you should try out a funded account program instead of putting up thousands yourself and almost certainly losing it. It only makes sense. A funded account program, they give you a demo first, and they test your skill. And if you could pass the test, then they fund you, and they take a percentage of your profit once you're funded. The Top Step is the most legit one in the world. If you get funded on them, you get to keep 90% of your profit after funded. There's no PDT rule in futures. I can day trade short. I'm going to get in a little position here, and then maybe try to scale in on a bounce. And so this is one contract. We're going to try to add to it. These are micros. But again, I could day trade. You can see I could short, go long in the futures market, no PDT rule. And this is essentially the same price action as the QQQ. Again, Top Step gives you a demo, test your skill. If you lose, though, you're only out what you pay for it. The base one's $49. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. If you're good enough to pass it, you keep 90% split anyway, similar to putting the money up yourself. There's just noticeably less risk in that, in my opinion. Great way to learn how to day trade, and if you're good enough to pass it, you can get started with a very small amount of money and get between 50 to 150K in funding with a 90% split once you're funded. And so in that regard, it makes perfect sense. Don't put up thousands yourself trying to day trade. Yeah, and you get to keep your 100% of your first 10K as well, according like what Drake says. So 100% true, 100% true. Yeah, you can check out the link right there. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased in their favor because they pay me money. But again, I genuinely think it's a good option for traders if you haven't ever day traded especially. I'm going to have to add more to this. This is a tiny size. We want to short into a bounce is what we want.
we want to short into a bounce. And again, remember guys, we predicted it would come in higher than expected, and we covered a lot of our positions ahead of PPI today, and it looks like it was the right move. We're in one short position now. I need a little bit more, so we'll take 2 contracts here. But the goal is to add if we get a bounce up to this level here is the goal. We're taking small size though, so it's not the end of the world if we're wrong here, but rate cuts after June. Yeah, I think it's going to be June plus until we cut rates. I don't think it's going to be earlier than that. All right, we're up about 15, 20 bucks here on this trade. I want to let it go a little bit longer. There we go. All right, we took half off there, locked it in. Gonna take the other half off. So we just made a quick little $25 today, very quickly. Again, you can see day trading this is very similar to putting the money up yourself, or day trading stocks. There's just no PDT rule in futures. Again, you want to check all this with them and confirm all of it with them. Yeah, we're up nice on the day so far. We'll look for a bounce and we'll short into that bounce if we get one. All right, we'll short a little bit more. We're looking for a larger bounce though. We need a larger bounce before we can really feel comfortable here. All right, so we got 2 contracts here. We'll add up to 5. These are micro contracts, so they're small. What we do in these funded account programs is simple. We build up a cushion, and after we build up a cushion, then we scale up our size, right? So when we're trading small like this in the beginning, we try to build up a cushion of a couple $100, and then if we can do that, once we have a cushion of a couple $100, then we scale up larger size. And so that way, if we lose, we're back to break even. We can start over, scale back down, build up a cushion. But if we make money there, that's when we can have really big gains and have small losses, but big wins potentially. That's the goal at least. And this is a combine account, just for transparency purposes. This is a combine account. We are funded in 2 of their accounts as well though, so. Yeah, the data's out yet. It might be right below me on screen here, guys. Might be right below me on screen. All right, we're gonna take another half off there. Job is to just build up a cushion right now if we can. So we built up a nice little cushion so far, day trading. Small cushion so far though. A little bit under $40. Bloodbath. I don't know if I'd call this a bloodbath. Hey, the market's certainly red. But like, again, you got to understand the market has been up so much over the last 3 days that when you look at an actual chart of broad markets, again, the bears want to confirm their beliefs. Like technically the Q is still green right now. So the NASDAQ 100 is technically green on the day still. It's red because inflation data was high, but the Q is still green. But again, if we put up like a weekly chart, like they're not even including today's price action. Like, yeah, so if we put up a daily chart, today's price action on a daily chart is this. So we're definitely not crashing or anything yet. Maybe this is the spark for it though. But it's not, we're not there yet. Maybe. Yeah, some stocks are green on the day still. We were right about we were right that it was higher than expected. I think most people thought it was high. Yeah, it was going to come in high, I mean, so. And again, stick around. We're going to day trade larger for sure, closer to the opening bell. We're going to day trade larger for sure, getting closer to the open. All right, so we got a little bit of a bounce. I'm going to start to add to this, and then plan is to add up to 5 contracts and start taking a little bit more from this on this bounce. All right, we got 2 contracts. We'll take 3. Now we're going to start to slow down our ads with 4. And so now we're in 4 contracts. We'll start slowing down. See if we get a dump. Back down to test that low. Flat. Slightly green now. Completely flat on this trade. I like the entry though. I think it was a good entry spot. Limited risk in my opinion. But if we break down, we can have a decent little retracement to that low. All right, so we're flat. Consolidating a little bit after a breakdown. I'm seeing some NASDAQ stuff break back up though. All right, we're green again, flat. Green again. There we go. Need a little bit larger of a follow through here though. We're kind of neutral, choppy, consolidating. Yeah, I'm gonna cut half here, protect the trade, so I don't risk too much. Looks like I got out just in time. Alright, so we're gonna add back our size and get up to 5 contracts here. Try to fix our average and see if we get a flush breakdown. There we go. Took half off, a little bit more. Locked it in. Small gains, but that's all right. Go ahead and cut that. So we're up like 50 bucks right now, another little cushion. Again, we're range trading this. We showed people this yesterday. We might start to scale up our size now that we have a cushion on the day. And remember, we still have Michigan consumer sentiment data coming out next, coming out in 10 days. All right, so we did come back down to those lows, exactly what we thought we would. All right, so big retracement, down wick, up wick. And remember, guys, I'm day trading on a funded account program called Top Step. They give you a demo and they test your skill, and if you can pass the test, great. If not, you're going to limit your risk, which is a huge benefit. If you want to try it out or learn more, there's the link right there in chat. Check it out. Hello? Hello? Okay. All right, love you. Bye. All right, so we got 2 more contracts here. Again, we're shorting towards the top of this little mini range, and then again, we're taking very small trades. I just don't trust this. What did we make yesterday? Did we make something yesterday? I think we did, right? Yeah, we made 200 and something. We're gonna start scaling up our size though pretty soon. This is just really early in pre-market, so we still got a little bit of time to grind up some small profit and wins. What's counterintuitive? Yo, bro, I'm from New Orleans. Much respect. Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm from Baton Rouge, but go Saints, go Tigers. You know. Shout out to my home state. Hey, good luck, Gavin. All right, so there we go. Grinding that up, lock that in. See if we can flush down. All right, so we're gonna go and lock that in as well. We got about 75 bucks now or so on profit, a little bit less than that, but that's all right. We're gonna pivot to the regular E-mini now. So the regular E-mini. Here's the S&P 500. This is we're basically day trading the S&P 500, essentially the SPY price action. But okay, so the micros are very small size. So the micros are small size. Right, relative to the regular E-mini, like you'll see how much more this one moves. I'm gonna short this. It's a risky position, but we built up a cushion. We can trade into that cushion now and hope that we break lows here. I don't like shorting low of the days, but I will short a small bounce up after a test of lows like this. So far we're completely flat. I'm not going to add any more to this either. You can see we're about break even on the day. We're down 75 on this bounce. I'd love to give it a chance to hold though down. And again, what you'll see me do is build up a cushion and then take larger size, risking that cushion we've just built. All right, there we go. We're back to flat. Come on, flush down. Looks like a bear flag, but who knows what we're going to get here. I could also add to it maybe one contract on this. Let me see what I actually made yesterday. And we're green on this combine account. Do I want to add to this is the question. It's kind of slippery. I guess we will. We're going to add to it. And then we're going to be prepared to cut it fast. All right, we're flat. Only doing this because we've got a big cushion on this account already, so we can do this, and even if we lose, which hopefully we're going to not lose, and it's going to break down and break lows, but we can do this, and if we lose, it's not the end of the world. Ideally, I'm looking for these to crack down. Kind of flat. 2 contracts at the E-mini. You can see how fast it moves, like 25 down. Every tick up or down is going to be $25 in gains or losses. There we go. We just need a little bit more. There we go. All right, so $50 profit is what we're up now. Take that off. All right, so again, you can see we're over $100 in profit now on that trade. We got a 10-to-1 win-loss ratio today. But now we're up $105 or so. Scalping these moves with regular E-mini. So now we've got even larger cushion. We can trade even larger size today based off of it. Yeah, I mean, Melissa, sorry, you can't promote your Discord here. You know, too many people try to come be nice and then promote their own stuff. So, I mean. So we should have maybe held this line, but let me try. We'll short a little bit more here, see if we get a break. So we cracked lows, looking weak, and let's see if we can flush down. Another way to do this is to get deep into profit. And once we are deep in profit, then add a little bit to it, like now. So we're up $50. I'm just going to take that off, though, and lock that in. All right, so grinding up. We are up 150 on the day here. 11-to-1 win-loss ratio. $13 drawdown as well. So good risk-reward as well as good accuracy. Making money in the chop. Yeah, we're trying. Whoa, John. Yeah, I mean, I'm not yelling or anything. I'm just kind of reminding because I have to be careful. Again, I'm not even saying she's doing that. All I'm saying is, like, just a friendly warning, you know. Again, there's too many people that try to promote their own stuff and find ways around it, so I just have to be strict in that way. Jesse, this is on a platform called Quant Tower. I'm trading on Top Step on a platform called Quant Tower. My son's feeling better today, so appreciate it. Kind of riding the breakdown here. We thought it looked weak, and so we took advantage of that. But it's not really following through enough for me to be super comfortable with this like this, so we got to just kind of hang out. Edward, sensitive people in the chat. Yeah, I mean, you know how it goes, bro. A lot of them just like disagree about some small thing, and so it's really weird. Sometimes they just kind of sit around looking to critique or looking for things I do wrong and bring attention to it. Some of them might be people who were banned prior, who are now, you know, being nice, but deep down, you know, they're really looking for things wrong. You know what I mean? Not talking about anybody specific here. It's just it's a weird dynamic on YouTube sometimes, brother. Weird dynamic. Most people are truly supportive and nice, but, you know. Yeah, no, I'm not mad at you, Melissa. It's all good. So there's no link on my... I mean, there's a link in the Discord, or in the description, Antonio. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Go ahead and promote your stuff, brother.
All right, so we're still getting some breakdowns. Quantower big learning session. Yeah, it gets a little, I like it. It's a lot, it's very similar to TOS. Weird dynamic that sums up the internet. Yeah, bro, people are weird, dude. People are weird. They get obsessive, you know. Yeah, people are just weird, bro. Like, one thing you'll see a lot is like, and again, I'm just kind of hanging out because it's market's down, but it's also kind of slowing down, I would say. One things you see a lot here running like a channel like this is you see people, like, one of the natures of the market is that people are going to disagree on trading styles, systems, directions, stocks, symbols, whatever it is, right? People are going to disagree. But I think people might isolate one disagreeing thing that I disagree with them on, and then they use that to just kind of get weird. Again, some of them have gotten banned, and I think the anonymity of YouTube in general and the internet makes people act weird sometimes because they think they can, right? Because they think they're anonymous, and so they can be weird and get away with it. And I think when you let that type of thing run wild, it gets just worse and worse. The real human nature comes out. It's an interesting thing to look at psychologically, but it's a fun thing as well. And the internet's a blessing. Like, I'm really happy to, again, this channel's a blessing to my family for sure. I don't ever want to seem ungrateful. I think most people here are genuinely supportive and kind and helpful. So appreciate the love. Do you just trade or are you long on anything? Yeah, I'm holding a lot of stuff long term. I am holding, my portfolio currently consists of, if this gets a larger bounce, maybe up to like this spot, we'll short it, but we need a large enough bounce for it. All right, so we're short. Flat on the position now. But yeah, I'm in a lot of long-term investments / swing trades and stocks. All right, we're flat here. I don't know if I'm liking this. I'm starting to get kind of torn on this one. It's moving up a little bit too much. I'm probably going to cut it. See if we get a quick retracement back down. All right, so we're going to get out. We lost about 60 bucks there. We're still up about 100. But it's all good. Maybe it flushes back down, but we'll see. You should see some of the comments on sports stuff. Yeah, for sure. It's just a weird, the internet's strange. And then it's like the other thing, like, people wonder why I'm paranoid, but it's like you really have people that also, like, they say, you got people that want to promote their own content, their own brand, their own Discord. And again, I'm not saying this is you, Melissa. This is, again, I don't think it's you, to be fair. I don't think this is what you're doing or anything like that. But you got people that have multiple different usernames, and they'll actually talk to themselves. Like, I had one guy that was genuinely talking to himself. He would say, hey, did you hear about this? And then he would sign in on another account and be like, hey, and you would tell because it had the exact same grammar, like very specific grammar tells, like everything being, nothing being capitalized, like using commas instead of periods for everything. Like, you could tell it was him talking to himself. Just trying to give himself credibility, I guess. I don't know why they do it, but again, it's a weird thing to see from this end. It's super strange. Looks like me cutting that move was the right move, because we did bounce up a lot more. I'm tempted to short this again, but I'm also kind of skeptical in that, you know, sometimes the first move with economic data is the wrong move, and so we could certainly continue to rip back up. I think I'm just gonna wait. We still got about 40 minutes until the opening bell. Market's gonna bounce, maybe. To see your accuracy, Kane, you go to account performance under informational, and it'll show you your profit graph, your trading graph. If you go to win-loss ratio, that's your accuracy rate. %50 of the time it's right every time. Feet picks? Y'all don't want my feet picks, bro. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, the PPI data is right here. I was a skateboarder, bro. You do not want my feet picks, dude.
See, I'm skeptical about the Myers-Briggs personality test, but when I delve deeper into what my personality is labeled under it, the debater personality, ENTP personality type, it sounds a lot like me. Now, again, some of these are confirmation bias, I would say. It's kind of like horoscopes saying, oh, I don't even know if this is true, but oh, this sign loves their family and friends and will do anything for their families and friends and and they don't trust easily and are super, knowledgeable about the subjects they're interested in. And it's like, everybody's going to be like, yeah, that's me. That's me. I love my friends and family. I'm knowledgeable about things. I don't trust easy. Everybody wants that to be themselves. And so they're just confirmation biasing it up, telling people what they want to hear. And I think that's something that this does as well. But I'm reading it with ENTPs, and it says, while they love to brainstorm and think big, these personalities tend to avoid getting caught doing the grunt work of implementing their ideas, and they sometimes have a hard time sticking to their goals, which is very true for me. To some extent, this makes sense. They have far too many thoughts and suggestions to keep track of them all, let alone turn them into reality. But unless they develop the willingness to identify and follow through on their priorities, they may struggle to harness their full potential. ENTP's capacity for debate is legendary. And again, we're quoting 6personalities.com. ENTP's capacity for debate is legendary, but that doesn't mean it's always helpful. When they openly question their boss in a meeting or pick apart everything their significant other says, these sharp personalities may think they're being champions of rationality and logic, but they may also be doing their chances of success and happiness more harm than good. Not every occasion calls for this contrarianism, and most people can only stand to have their beliefs questioned and their feeling brushed aside for a certain amount of time. ENTPs may find that their quarrelsome fun burns many bridges, often inadvertently. They are respected for their vision, confidence, knowledge, and sense of humor, but unless they cultivate a sense of sensitivity, they may struggle to maintain deeper relationships or even to achieve professional goals. Honestly, it sounds a lot like me. I lack sensitivity in a lot of ways, even in like relationship wise with my wife and kids, and so top 3 least sensitive people in the world right now. Anyways. You're a Sigma? I don't know. I don't follow all that stuff. People are weird and marry the options they're in. This page is so fire, and if anyone's hating and not showing love and just communizing, it's not about you. They blame you for their failures in life. 100%. That's exactly what happens. People are weird, bro. They're insecure. I think it's hard for a lot of people to be introspective. And look, we are pushing up a lot, so it looks like it was a good move in me not shorting. Do you think that has to do with ADHD? I certainly do, Daniel. I certainly have ADHD, and it's like even in jiu-jitsu, right? I'm learning jiu-jitsu, of course. I've been learning it I got my second stripe not too long ago. But even in that, my coach tells me, and it translates well to jiu-jitsu. Like when I'm rolling, my skill set in jiu-jitsu is very fast. Like I'm very quick. I don't hold or maintain a position for very long. I transition from position to position very fast. Like I'll go from side control to north-south to side control on the other side to mount to knee on belly to side control. And I'll just keep doing that until I can sink a submission in. But when I'm learning, my faults, like what I do wrong is that I rush through drills. I don't listen completely. ADHD is good because if I'm interested in something, I can hyper focus onto whatever it is. But if I'm not interested in something, or if something's very long-winded that I'm kind of not fully interested in but partially interested in, it's very difficult for me to focus the entire time, And so what happens is like when I drill things, I rush through it. My coach tells me the exact same thing. He's like, listen, bro, you're good, you're fast, but you need to slow down, especially when we're drilling. And so that's kind of where I'm weak. Anyways, Tesla's still pulling back, but a lot of stuff's starting to bounce. You can see the NASDAQ, the SPY, and the Q all bouncing. Where's NVIDIA at right now? Hi, guys. Is the data BS? Define BS.
Yeah, I can never take the meds for it. They mess with my sleep. There's too many highs and lows for me personally on that stuff. I'm not judging anybody that takes it. Again, I have ADHD, so like I get it. I really do. And so I never. It's too many highs and lows for me. And again, I would take the ADHD meds and I would literally sit still and quiet, and it wouldn't give me this big boost of energy like I saw on other people. It would make me very calm, very quiet, and I would just kind of sit still all day, which I guess is the point if you actually have ADHD. But I just didn't like it. Too many highs and lows. Mess with my food intake. I love to eat and sleep, and it messes with those two things. So I don't know. It's why you're hyper focused on BJJ right now. Yeah, 100%. Right. I'll like different things. My interest will change very fast. But I've been in BJJ for like 6, 7, 8 months now, so it hasn't gone away. I still love it a lot, and I go almost every day. But my interest will change certainly. Anyways, Nvidia is still looking pretty strong, and I think it's what's dragging the S&P 500 up right now. If we look at Nvidia in the top right, if we look at Nvidia, it's at 720s right now, 720s. So Nvidia testing the highs of the day. Didn't really dip that much from PPI inflation. Didn't really dip that much. Now, remember, we do have Michigan consumer sentiment data coming out at 10. Thanks for the life story. Yeah. ADHD keeps me trading. Yeah, I mean, again, you can kind of use it as a skill too. Like being obsessed over things, like hyper focused and obsessed is good sometimes. Like that's how I created this YouTube channel. Is I went and saw The Big Short, got hyper focused and obsessed with trading, and then built a business around it. And here we are years later, 6-figure, probably based off of how much this business makes, it's probably worth at least $1 million. And so sometimes you can benefit from it. Sometimes it's a superpower. Other times it can be a curse. But Tesla at 203s right now, bouncing back up right under the 200 EMA volume weighted average price. I'm gonna short this here. I think we're gonna run into some resistance right here, and we're up. Let's see if we can get a larger breakdown. Although the SPY is moving back up some. The SPY is right under that previous close, which is why I'd rather short this. And we do have a cushion on the day. But Tesla, the SPY, all near pretty big, significant resistance levels. So again, I don't know what this is going to do, but we're going to short this right here and see if we get a flush. I don't think I'm going to add to any. We're up about 25 bucks on this one so far. Even if we continue up, I think we might get a small dip back down to maybe like this level here before you continue back up. I might be wrong though, again, we're up 40. All right, we're gonna take that profit, lock that in. Just made about 50 bucks pretty quickly here. Back up to 150 bucks or so on the day. Yeah, Big Short's a great movie, it really was. Do you think market will fail for Michigan sentiment? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it depends on the person for sure. All right, so we drew the support level. Let's see how accurate this is. Nvidia at 740s. Yeah, Nvidia's still churning up. Yeah, look at that bounce spot, guys. Caught it right on the nose. Check that out. Look at that. We drew this level. We said, hey, I think we're going to pull back to this. And boom. Got it right. Might have to go clip that. It doesn't mean it's not going to break back under it, but we did bounce directly off of that spot, so not too bad. News is the producer price index, inflationary data.
Yeah, the Big Short is what got me into trading as a whole. I've told the story probably hundreds of times at this point, but it really is what got me into trading. I was always like, I love strategy games and poker. Poker was like my first strategy obsession because it was a game that was beatable. One of the only games at the casino that's beatable. And so I was into poker, really into poker, still am, love poker. But when I saw the movie The Big Short, I realized that there were comparable things that maybe had a higher scale and potential, higher ceiling. And so when I learned about that, that became one of my obsessions. I came home, I obsessed about it, I learned a lot about it, started this YouTube channel, learned how to trade everything basically, and again, years later, I'm glad it happened, of course. But most of my interests changed though. So usually I'll become obsessed with something and then that'll change eventually. The latest one was like watches. I became like really obsessed with luxury watches, bought myself some watches. Never end up wearing them, you know. And I think once I realized that there's not really like a good business to build around them like that. Like I could flip watches, but I don't think the scale is really where I'd want it to be to put more money into it and spend the time and energy I would have towards it. And so that kind of went by the wayside. But it varies, you know. When I was young, I was obsessed with like sharks and snakes and Zelda. So it varies. My son's very similar. All right, guys, so we're breaking under that support level that we drew. Let's see if we hold. Oh, yeah, I lost a ton when I was learning how to trade. Most people are going to learn, or most people are going to lose in the beginning. Again, it's one of the reasons funded account programs are necessary, I think, if you're learning how to day trade. Like, instead of putting up thousands yourself, it makes no sense. Like, learn how to day trade in a funded account program with limited risk. Most day traders are going to lose. It doesn't matter whether they go through Top Step or TOS, which is Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade stocks. Most day traders are going to lose. And so instead of putting up thousands of dollars in stocks trying to look cool and probably losing that, being restricted by the PDT rule, try a funded account program. If you lose, you're only out what you pay for it. The Top Step Combine is only $49 for the base one, only $150, which if you pass the top one, you get $150K in funding, 90% split. No PDT in futures. Patterns are very similar to stocks. You can day trade the Q, the E-mini, the SPY, all that good stuff. And so again, you can check out the link. Yeah, I don't know. All my OGs here might remember Street Sharks. They had the old Vin Diesel commercial. Loved Street Sharks. I'm not sure, Antonio. Check out with them, brother. I thought you said you bought it already today. All right, Tesla breaking down. We scaled out of Tesla today too. It looks like my overall thesis prior to the bell was correct. So again, remember, prior to the bell, or prior to this data report, we thought PPI data would come in higher than expected. We thought the market was a little extended on the upside, and because of that, we did liquidate some of our positions today. And now in hindsight, it looks like it was the right move. We are now dropping down. We limited our risk. We're up a lot on the year already in swing trading and investing, and so limiting that risk makes sense, I think. And looks like what did Coinbase do? Coinbase is still up there. Coin's going to move a little bit different than the actual market, but I guess it depends on where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's still well over 52,000. I'm going to short this again, right at the level that we originally drew. We might take 2 contracts of the micro E-mini here, or the regular E-mini, just because we have a big cushion on the day. And so we'll see if we bounce back more and then add to it. But we might not need to. We'll see. We're flat on the position now. And again, this is day trading futures. I'm using market orders to get in and out. We're up a little bit, flat. Now we're up more. Alright, so we're still flat on the position. We're up $150 or so on the day, so we can be patient here and wait. Watching the SPY closely here. The SPY is basically the E-mini movement. SPY over 500 too. Here's the NASDAQ on the bottom right. Here's NVIDIA. NVIDIA's right at the VWAP, though. That's the only risk of this trade, is that, like, if NVIDIA bounces at the volume-weighted average price, which a lot of people would argue is probable. I'm going to cut this, I think, here, guys. Wait, we're almost green now. I'm watching Tesla and NVIDIA bounce at this level, and I don't trust it. Yeah, I'm going to cut it. I just don't trust it. I see Tesla and NVIDIA bounce. We're still up well over 100 on the day, so we're still good, but I'm not in NVIDIA right now. I'm not shorting NVIDIA, you know. I'm not longing it either. It's too high, but NVIDIA over 740s. Again, I don't know who's buying it up here. I'm certainly not. I mean, I think a lot of people are buying it, maybe thinking that it's going to hit, a 1,000 eventually. Yeah, it looks like me cutting that move, and I hope you guys can see. I could basically predict that we're going to go up and get out of my short position early, because what I do see is I see NVIDIA at the volume weighted average price. I see Tesla bouncing up over 202s. I see a lot of blue chips moving up, and so, you know, these index funds like the S&P are holding a lot of these blue chips, right? So I don't want to get stuck when a lot of blue chips are starting to move up, shorting this, and so I cut it early. It looks like it was the right move. Getting kind of choppiness though since 9 a.m. flat. Yeah, we got SQ and some other earnings next week. I'm not sure what we're gonna get with those either. I like the way you trade, not greedy, quick in and quick out. A lot of people go for big wins. Yeah, thank you. A compliment for how I trade sometimes. Again, I'm not claiming to be even a good trader. I'm not an expert, not a guru. I don't sell a course, sell my own service, or claim to be good in any way. We're now green in equities on the day. A slight green day. That's nice. I think I have to wait for this chop to break. SPY at open. I don't know. We were holding a little bit of the SPY we cut this morning. Green, but I didn't want to hold. All right, guys, so we are hanging out, waiting for market to do something. Hit that sub button, guys. We are almost up to 125.2 thousand subs. Crazy good growth the last couple days. Yeah, there's the SPY, NVIDIA bouncing at the volume weighted average price. So we have effectively retraced about 50% back up relative to where we were prior to PPI data coming out. So the market is looking very resilient. Who knows if it's going to hold though, but market's looking pretty resilient. Honestly, I'm super excited for the OpenAI video, text-to-video update. I think it's Sora. Looks powerful for content creation. Kind of a choppy market. Remember, today's Friday. It is Friday, guys. It might be slower. I don't know enough about them, Chris, to say yes or no or anything like that for them. Sorry, brother. Yeah, it's a little choppy right now. That's okay. That's all right. They say ENTPs, knowledgeable, quick thinkers, original, brainstormers, charismatic and energetic. Weaknesses are argumentative, insensitive, intolerant, difficult focusing, dislike practicality. I guess so. Romantic relationships. Dating, these are not boring. Test their partner limits, boundaries, traditions, open-mindedness and spontaneity. I don't know. This is confirmation bias. Parenthood. Let me see my parenthood. Raising free thinkers. Yeah, that's true. But again, everybody wants to say that. Careers. Curiosity, independent spirit. Excellent communicators, face-to-face convos, dislike constraints of managing others or being managed, social adaptability, natural leaders, showing others the way forward, inspiring, sound logic, intellectual prowess. Again, I would love to say this is true. I think anybody would. Like, oh, of course that's me, But again, I'm just thinking, like, there's got to be so much confirmation bias here. Like, it's kind of like those people who say they can speak to the dead. You know what I mean? Like, people want to believe it's true, so they're more likely to believe it's true, right? It's the same thing where it's like, yo, I got a system that will turn a $5,000 into $100K in a week if you just buy my course. My course is only $2,000. I think people are going to want to believe that's true. Like, I want to believe that's true. I can say, hey, if you buy my mentorship program, you can find financial freedom. I think people are going to want to believe that's true. So they're more likely to, because they want to confirm what they want to happen. But doesn't mean it is true. And I think the same thing is here, Kind of like horoscopes almost. Airbnb. I don't know if I trust Airbnb. 156. The fees are what gets me on Airbnb. I think people are going to find out. I think over the next 5 years, there's going to be a surge in competitive platforms for Airbnb that do things a little bit different. I think the fees on Airbnb are so freaking high where you check out, you think it's going to be $1,000 a week, and it's after fees, cleaning, and all that nonsense, it's $2,000 a week. It's literally double the price advertised. And I think people are going to start getting tired of that. They're going to go back to conventional hotels, and they're going to stop using Airbnbs as much. They're too expensive for me personally. Unless like it's like a big event, I'm not gonna go to an Airbnb and waste $5,000 in a week just to stay somewhere. Right, exactly, Matt. It's confirmation bias. Okay, so this guy Y says, hi, can I ask something? And then the question is, can hold, sell, trade? What? Can wholesale trade? I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. Does higher CPI and PPI mean Fed might consider raising rates? Yes. They're going to be more likely to raise rates. I still think it's outside what is the most probable thing. I don't think they're going to raise rates again anytime soon. I think they're going to keep pausing. I think it means they're probably going to either raise rates, which again, I don't think is super likely, or they're going to maintain a pause for longer, which is the most likely outcome, I think, of this PPI and CPI week we had this week. I think they're just more likely to stay more hawkish. What kind of stuff do you like to look for? Every trader is different, like you said. Do you do more momentum? It depends on what part of the day. As I'm cushion building like this, I'm usually scalping ranges. So what you'll see me do a lot is, like, when we have an established range like this, I will short towards the top and try to cover towards the bottom. And our range trade as I'm building up a cushion. Once we have a cushion and the liquidity starts to get better closer to the opening bell, if I have a cushion on the day, then I'm more likely to momentum trade and build up big profits on the day if I can. If I already have that cushion, if I don't have that cushion, trend trading, range trading is more likely for me. But that's just for me personally. I'm not telling you guys to do that. Like, that's just kind of how I do it. Either man, John, top 3, definitely top 3 ever in the world. Yeah, maybe dips. This is Quant Tower. On the right is TOS, T-O-S, Thinkorswim. But the left is Quant Tower. Me and my family manage 2 Airbnbs. One is $275 to $315, and the other is $600 to $900 a day. The price differences are day dependent, and our cleaning fees are $80. And if damages, that's another issue. So $80 a day or $80 total. Will FOMC be bullish or bearish? I'm not sure. A trading coffee shop can't hold, sell, trade. Hey, what's the next big reporting day? Next Wednesday is the biggest next day. We got NVIDIA earnings, FOMC minutes report, and like a bunch of other earnings. All right, guys. So, hey, we're very flat and choppy. You can see how flat the market is right now. Y'all just be careful. And again, I'm critical of courses, but I also want people to understand that, like, there are some good courses out there. There are some good mentors and good courses. It's just not a majority of them. Here's the flag. You could argue it's a bull flag. Just most courses aren't good, but there's some good ones. $80 in cleaning fees total ain't that bad, Aiden. But I think the Airbnb fees are what gets it. Like, it's not just the cleaning fees. It's like, again, if it says it's $1,000 at checkout, it's going to be closer to $2,000, right? It's from fees from Airbnb, so I think Airbnb simply are too greedy in terms of their fees. I think that they're asking for too much fee wise, and they're making lots of money. But I think what's going to happen is that you're going to have competitors to them that are cheaper, that change the way they do it to where they're much cheaper for consumers, and that's going to eat their lunch eventually, is what I think is going to happen. I might be wrong though, but I think that's probably what's going to happen. Someone explained bull flag. It's just a technical pattern. The reason they call it a bull flag is because it is ascending and it looks like a flag. Oh yeah, markets closed on Monday. Good, I forgot about that. That's good. All right, cool. Markets closed Monday. Good. What happens when the PPI comes in higher? The market drops. It means inflation data was high, and that means prices are rising. It's worse for markets. And you can see the market dip down a lot. PPI came out here. You can see the huge dip we got from it. Yeah, rumor. A lot of mortgage people are really bummed out because the real estate market is just struggling. So a lot of mortgage brokers were doing like really well, and then the real estate market happened, and some are even getting weird. I think misery loves company in that way, and so if you're struggling a lot, you might lash out at other people, and I think that's a pretty obvious thing. And I've seen it a lot with a bunch of mortgage and real estate people that just get weird for no reason. And I think it's hard for a lot of people to be real about it, but well, who knows when mortgages will bounce back. Any tips for passing the combine? Again, I would do what I kind of do here. Again, I can't guarantee it's going to help you pass or anything like that. What I will say is that day trading is difficult. And I think if you're going to pass these combines like Top Step, I think what you should do is build up a cushion. Once you have that cushion with small size, you should only be trading with small size. Then once you have the cushion with small size, then you can scale up your size only to a point at which, like, if you lose there, you're going to be back to break even, right? So you scale up your size. If you lose, you're back to break even. You scale back down your size, try to build up another cushion, and you rinse and repeat that until it sticks, right? You rinse and repeat that until you get a good trade after you scale up in size, and then you've got a big cushion on the day, and you could either try to go for it again with larger size and build up another cushion. I think that's the easiest way to pass these combines with the least amount of risk, as long as you can be disciplined with it. As long as you can be disciplined with it. I'm looking for a mentor. Are you up for it? No. Sorry, bro. I don't have time for that, dude. No offense. I'm not even claiming to be an expert or anything like that, and so I don't want to be your mentor, brother. No offense to you. Sorry, bro. Hey, you didn't stream Coinbase earnings? I know, man. I'm sorry. Coinbase dropped their earnings call at 5:30. 5:30. I think that mixed with the earnings came out at 4. I didn't feel like sitting there for an hour and a half. My son's sick right now, so it just wasn't a good time for me to cover it. Sorry, bro. All right, guys. So you own Eli Lilly? No, I don't. Do you think the Euro US dollar is liquid enough to day trade on futures? I'm coming from Forex. I don't know. We can look at it. What's the all right, so it's the euro. It would basically be trading the euro, right? Let me check it out. Let me find it. I know I can look at it. Where'd it go? You go to how it works. You scroll down. View the product list. It would be E-mini Euro FX. It'd be E7. I don't even know how to pull this up though. Let me see. It'd be E7H4. Would that be it? I'm trying to figure out what the symbol. What's the symbol for the euro? Oh, it is that, I think. Yeah, it is that. So again, here it is right here. Honestly, it looks a lot like the regular, like it looks a lot like the Q or the SPY right now. Like, look, if I put the NASDAQ or the E-mini, I guess is a better way to look at it. If I put the E-mini chart up next to it, you know, the E-mini is just going to have far better liquidity. Same thing with the NASDAQ, I bet too, but this looks pretty similar to me. Like big dip consolidation, big dip consolidation. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of Forex people should be trading futures instead of Forex, because the better liquidity is better. Like in Forex, a lot of the time you need to have like VPNs and all this weird stuff. Yeah, here's the NASDAQ. So again, very similar look here. Although let me make sure the time's right. This happened at 7:30. Yeah, same time frame. This happened at 7:30. You might as well just trade the E-mini or the NASDAQ because it's basically the same price action. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, links in the description. But yeah. Michael Barr, he might move the market some, and it's something you want to be weary of. Look at NVIDIA pump up, guys. NVIDIA almost up to 741s. Crazy gains there for NVIDIA. Yeah, Forex is tough. Hard to find liquidity. Futures trading, you're going to trade similar things to like the euro US dollar. But there's going to be better liquidity, easier to get around. There's no PDT rule in futures. It's just better, in my opinion. But I'm biased because Top Step's a sponsor of mine. So, like, you know. But Top Step's dope. It's really useful for traders. Great for traders who want to day trade but maybe don't have the money to put up themselves or don't want to take the risk. I think it's incredibly useful for that. All right, guys, market opens up in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Well, we got a small cushion on the day here. Here's my day right now. We're up over $100. We got a 4-to-1 win-loss ratio today, but kind of flat. Market's been choppy. Let me pull up the actual NASDAQ. I might pull up the micros at first just to get started, and then mess with it later afterwards. All right, so here's the NASDAQ 100 micro. SPY flat. NVIDIA's starting to ramp back up. We'll see what this does. Market's been choppy for the last few minutes, but here's the open, guys. Ding, ding, ding. There's the opening bell. Market's starting to move up a little bit. NVIDIA testing highs up there at the opening bell. SPY's trying to move up. I want to buy this because I think NVIDIA could test highs, but there's NVIDIA slumping down, so I guess I'm going to wait. Yeah, we're going to cover the Michigan sentiment data as well. All right, so again, we're going to let things settle down and then start taking some trades. I do see NVIDIA start to break under 200 EMA, under VWAP. Part of me wants to short just based off of this. But it's too close to the opening bell. Tesla coming all the way back down. It looks like me scaling out of that was the right move. Airbnb falling all the way down to 154s. All right, I'm going to short this. One contract with them. It's a very small position, though. Two contracts now. I see NVIDIA breaking clean under the 200 EMA VWAP level. And so I want a longer-term short position. All right, we just took half off there. All right, we made like 30 or 40 bucks just now scalping that. Not too shabby. We'll take it. We are testing the low, so we'll look for a small bounce up and maybe re-enter. All right, so there's a small bounce. Three contracts here. There we go. Took half, another half. Took another. So we just made another 30 or 40 bucks. We're up 160 on the day now. Again, we got the little bounce and then we covered it. Another bounce here. Part of me wants to short this as well, but I think I'm gonna wait. We'll let it consolidate a little bit more, figure out what it wants to do. All right, Tesla dumping down here under 200s again at 199s. NVIDIA starting to bounce back up. We'll take one contract on the bounce. See if we can add up to maybe 3, but we're not going to take a huge size here. We didn't get a chance to add either. Little tiny size, but that's all right. We'll take profit there, lock it in, I guess. We are now up about 175 on the day. 6-to-1 win-loss ratio. We can now effectively scale into the regular E-mini S&P. Take a little bit larger size now. See if we can get some good momentum showing up. But we got a big cushion on the day. That's nice. All right, so we're gonna short into this now. There we go. And we got a little bit of green. I don't know whether I want to take profit here or let it roll a little bit more. All right, so we just made another 50 bucks, so we let it work a little bit more. Scalping, building up more of a cushion. Nvidia bouncing back, though, is the risk, but you can see we're up about 225 or so on the day. Nvidia trying to get back over that volume weighted average price 200 EMA level, which is a pretty big level. Tesla breaking down significantly here. Coinbase still trying to rebound. The only problem is Nvidia. The only problem for shorts is Nvidia. Nvidia over the 200 EMA. So all right, Nvidia up to 740s right now, 740. So again, only main problem for shorts is Nvidia still churning up, looking good. NASDAQ still looks like a short pattern, but if Nvidia does a red to green move, then that could drag everything back up. Part of me wants to almost long right here, even though the technical patterns look short, based off of Nvidia squeezing up to 750s. What do you guys think? Long or short right now? I have no idea what you should do. Don't copy me, not an investment professional. Don't copy me, but no idea what we should do there. Tesla bouncing back to the previous close. It depends on if it rejects or holds there, though. Nvidia just broke market highs, so 740s. Long, close to demand zone. Yeah, there goes Nvidia up to 740s. Like I said, man, this is my biggest concern for shorts is that Nvidia looks so freaking strong right now. All right, so we are bouncing up a lot. Coinbase up to 193.50s. Coinbase breaking highs of the day. Part of me, all right, look, Nvidia, cup and handle. The only problem is that Tesla's right at a previous close level. So Tesla looks like it might reject and Nvidia looks like it might bounce. And so two behemoth companies trending against each other. I just don't trust any direction enough right now to make a bet here. So I'm just going to wait. We also have Michigan consumer sentiment data at 10. Hey, thank you, AP. Appreciate it, man. Love your style. Highly descriptive and focused. Thanks so much, man. Palantir up a little bit since the open. Again, getting kind of a neutral area right now. We've got a decent cushion on the day, though.
All right, Tesla now over the 200 EMA, or no, I'm sorry, Tesla now over the previous closing price. So Tesla technically green on the day now, rebounding from red action. So yeah, Tesla now technically green on the day. Nike breaking down a little bit here. Nike down a lot. Nvidia still bouncing at that VWAP level. Tesla moving up now. I'm a little bit more likely to buy this here, I think. Let's see. The NASDAQ looks weak, though. I'm going to buy this. Oh, I misclicked. Oh, that sucks. So we bought this. We bought the E-mini. Trying to buy the bottom. Mostly because, like, specifically Tesla and Nvidia look strong right now. Stronger currently, but we're also trending towards the lows, so that might be like a kind of like a magnet area pulling it down. We'll see. All right, we're flat. Now we're red. Now we're flat. Again, Nvidia looks strong and Tesla looks strong. I could add to this too. All right, now we're green. We'll let it. We'll give it time. Let me see. All right, now we're nicely green. All right, so we just made about 60 bucks. Here's the P&L on the day. Again, we noticed both Tesla, Nvidia looking strong. We're up almost 300 on the day. You can see my win-loss ratio is 6.67. Now we're going to move on to the NASDAQ 100 since we've got an almost $300 cushion on the day. Now we can trade the NASDAQ, even though I think the E-mini might arguably better looking, but still. All right, so running down a little bit now. Very flat again. Although, again, I think Nvidia looks good. I think Tesla is all the way back to where it opened, all the way back up from where it was prior. So, interesting. All right, look at Tesla over the 200 EMA. Nvidia now break it down under the 200 EMA though. Craziness.
breaking lows on the day here now. Even though Tesla's looking okay, which is not bad, I guess. All right, so there's the low. If we get a small bounce, I will short this. Alright, so we got a little bounce here. We're going to short the regular NASDAQ, just get punished though on this one. Let's see if we retrace back quickly. Now we're risking the $300 because again, the goal on this one is to get a combine funded in this combine account. So again, I'm taking the risk. It's okay if I lose. A lot of people see me do this and then lose and say, oh, you got bad risk reward, John. I'm trading a combine account, so I have to approach it slightly differently than I would like an actual account. It's just different. It's just different. All right, so we got 2 contracts here. Unfortunately, we're starting to lose on this one. We might cut it and be back to square one, and then we're going to have to scale back up our size. But we'll let it work a little bit. Here we go. All right, took half off, protected the trade. Boom. All right, so we're out. So we did it. We built up another cushion. It took a little while, but again, very limited drawdown. Our drawdown $62 on the day, and we're up 400 now. So we caught it. And so yeah, we'll see if we get some better action now, but we caught it. So that's nice. Let's see if we crack lows. So we're right around the lows now. We still got Michigan sentiment in about 13 minutes, guys. 13 minutes. Still cracking down. I think the momentum's certainly on the downside. Tesla coming all the way back down to the volume weighted average price level here too. Hey, what's up, Try? Yeah, I'm on Top Step. Is the plaque heavy? No, it's actually very light. It's actually not super light, I guess. I could order another one. You can have a bunch of them. It's like, I can order another one. It's like 50 bucks. All right, so again, I might short into this. The only problem is NVIDIA is starting to break over the 200 EMA. Tesla is now well over the volume weighted average price though, so I'm going to short this and see if we can catch a couple moves here. We've got a big cushion on the day, and so we got time. All right, so we just made about another 100 bucks. We have about $500 on the day. Again, here's my graph on the day here. You can see my drawdown is only $62. We have a 5.5 to 1 win-loss ratio. We've only lost $128. We've made 605, so we're up a little bit under 500 bucks. It is a combined account though, so it's not an actual funded account. We're working to get this one funded. It'll be our 3rd funded account. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do in this now. We've gotten really good momentum trading from it, but I don't know what I want to do. Remember, we got Michigan consumer sentiment data in 10 minutes, so. Remember, the market is closed on a Friday. Or no, the stock market is closed on Monday. So Monday the stock market is closed. don't think we have any other big data releases next week either. Markets close Monday. Tuesday, we've got, I think we have PMI data. Tuesday, we got the Fed. Wednesday, we got the Fed minutes report and NVIDIA earnings. Thursday, we got jobless claims numbers. So it's a busier short week, but a busier week, I guess. We got Fed minutes, jobless claims, NVIDIA earnings all next week. So it'll be busy. Busier, I guess I'll say. Market's just surging down. Again, it looks like me liquidating a lot of my positions this morning before PPI was the right move. Remember, you guys heard me say it. And that's what we did. And it looks like it was the good move because market has dumped down since then. So it's important so people understand, like, you can't always just buy. Even if you think the market's going to go up long term, you got to take profit, figure out what you want to do, re-add on pullbacks. Look at this big red action here. Again, Michigan consumer sentiment data in 9 minutes, guys. 9 minutes. PPI might be right below me right here. It could be. I'm not saying it is. It might be right below me. Morgan Stanley. What are they doing? Tesla now technically red on the day again. Morgan Stanley very flat. Yeah, I don't know what we want to do with this. I'm not trying to mess with this heavy. Like, y'all be careful, guys. We got, again, 8 minutes left. It looks weak. NASDAQ's hella weak, but I don't want to mess with it too much. What is going on with my computer? Okay, there we go. All right, guys. So we are going to be doing a crypto show today as well, guys. Remember that. Also, don't forget to join our Discord. We got a completely free Discord. If you want to join it, check it out. Why you don't want to mess with it? Because we have data coming out in 7 minutes. It's down so much, but it's just everything's down too much for me to want to short it, and it's too weak looking for me to want to long it. And we have data coming out in 7 minutes. And so all of those things combined just makes it a market that I don't really want to mess with. It's too difficult to gauge direction. Of course, anybody's got a 50-50 chance of getting the direction right. But for me personally, it just doesn't fit within my system. We've had a really good day. We're up like $500 in this. But yeah. Tesla testing lows of the day again. And again, people are going to say this is just the end of the world, that it's the big market crash of the century. But again, if we look at a daily chart, or weekly chart will certainly clear this noise out. So again, here's a weekly chart. Currently, where's the SPY at? SPY's at 520. So yeah, so currently, let me get rid of this level. This is a previous high. This is a big level too. Currently, we are, today's red action is this. So while it's weak intraday and it looks weak short term, I think it was kind of necessary. It's time for us to pull back a little bit. Again, I talked about this morning. Market's just up too much short term. I think we're going to start to get selling. And I think what's going to happen is that other long traders like me are going to start liquidating positions and start taking profit into the big gains that we've had over the last few months, and that might snowball it into larger gains. But so far, this isn't some end of the world scenario. If you put up a yearly chart or a weekly chart, you'll see market's still up a crazy amount. And so again, I'm not really prone to buy it right now either. I just got to be patient and wait, I think, a little bit. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes before Michigan data comes out, and then after that, we're gonna figure out what we want to do. And the market keeps dipping. NASDAQ down more. Super Micro is down. Is it really? How much is Super Micro down? Yeah, it's down to 950s. I mean, it needed to pull back. Let's just be real here for a second. Super Micro was up way, way, way too much. It was never going to hold those gains. Nothing will. All right, guys, 4 minutes. Tesla at 198.30s here, 198.30s. Starting to get finally a little bounce back. Again, with less than 4 minutes until this Michigan data. Just be careful, guys. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful. Before we get this data, let's talk about Chart Prime. It's a trading view service you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. Again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money with anything. Nobody can. Nobody's going to be able to guarantee you can make money with anything. You always have to trade it responsibly and smart. You can't just blindly enter everything and expect to make money. But what Chart Prime does, it's a trading view indicator service you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures, anything with a symbol on trading view, you can use it. It gives these great, strong, it gives these straight strength and weakness symbols. Like, look at this. And let's backtest this. Again, I always backtest it so people can recognize, despite the clutter on the chart, how impressive this might be. Again, look at this. So let's backtest it. Sell signal well before any of this weakness. Beautiful sell signal. Look at the strong buy signal. Beautiful bounce. This one was wrong. This one was certainly right. We got a nice little bounce. This is a 5-minute chart as well, right? So these candlesticks represent 5 minutes. This sell signal was right. So out of all of the ones that showed up really today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 out of 5 was wrong. That's 80%. 80%. I can't fake this either. Again, strong sell signal worked. This buy signal was this strong signal was probably wrong. This buy signal, beautiful bounce. This strong sell signal. So that's 2 so far that didn't work. Sell signal, drop. I would say both of these were probably wrong. So that's 4 out of all of these, right? 4 out of all of these. And we're going to tally them up in a second. That's 4 out of all of these. This strong buy signal got a bounce. Look at the sell signal. Beautiful drops afterwards. Look at the strong buy signal. Beautiful bounce. Sell signal, drop. Buy signal, bounce. All right, so let's just tally up those. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 4 out of 16 didn't work on a percentage basis for Chart Prime. 12 out of 16. That's 75% accuracy. Again, I can't fake that. You can use these on any time frame, an hourly time frame, a short-term time frame, anything with the symbol. Genuinely impressive, genuinely impressive. And again, I'm biased in their favor. I can't guarantee these are going to work. You want to backtest it yourself, figure it out yourself, and you want to find moments where they work well. You know, it's not just going to always work all the time. You got to find market symbols, areas where it's working well, and attack it then. But it's like $40 a month if you use my link. One good trade can pay for it, and it's genuinely impressive. Although again, they are a sponsor. I'm biased, of course. Check out the link. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. Check it out. There's the link in chat if you want to help support us. Again, we got this data dropping in about 50 seconds. Michigan consumer sentiment data is expected today at 76% for consumer expectations, 80 or 76.5 for consumer expectations, 80 for consumer sentiment. So we'll see what higher typically signals dovishness and a stronger economy. Lower signals a weaker economy, of course. So one signals not dovishness. One signals high, another signals lower economy. So we'll see what this data shows up as. It drops in 15 seconds. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Here's the data release right now. Hit the live button. I'm running out of breath. All right, here's the data release right now. Let's see how it affects the market. All right, so both came in lower than expected. Consumer sentiment and current conditions came in lower than expected, signaling a weaker economy, and the market so far has not liked it. I thought the market might react in a positive way if it's fearing inflation. You know, this should be beneficial to markets. Consumer expectations were higher, current conditions were lower, consumer sentiment was lower. So neutral data, although I'm surprised the market's reacting negatively to this because, again, it should signal I guess consumer expectations were higher than expected. Maybe that signals like a stronger economy, more inflation problems. We'll put this up on stream right now. But this consumer sentiment, I would say, is usually the larger release. That came in at 79.6. And we are getting a retracement back up. We're up like 500 on the day. I don't know if I want to play with this. Inflation expectations 1 year are coming in at 3% versus 2.9%. So a little bit higher 1 year inflation expectations. Again, at 3% versus 2.9% expected. So there's the University of Michigan data. Again, lower than expected. Lower than expected consumer sentiment. Expectations came in higher than expected. Inflation expectations came in slightly higher or neutral. Justin, it's really not that crazy. I mean, again, a lot of stuff's kind of flat on the day. Some stuff's down, like the SPY is down. Tesla's pretty close to flat, although it is down a little bit. I would argue that it was time for a pullback, though. We're not just going to go straight up forever. All right, guys. So, again, we are going to move on to our crypto show. Thank you so much for hanging out today. We did make a pretty good return today on our Combine account. Pretty good. We're up $477 today. We've got a 5.5 to 1 win-loss ratio on this Combine account. Nvidia's starting to go red on the day, but you can see even Nvidia's kind of flat. The SPY is down, the NASDAQ is down, but it's not like super blood red, despite how it looks. Anyways, guys, before we go, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. It's a funded program in futures. Do not put up thousands of dollars yourself trying to day trade in your own account. You're probably going to lose it. Most day traders lose money. I'm always transparent about this. Most day traders lose money. And so it doesn't make any sense to risk thousands of dollars in the beginning. Instead, try a funded account program. Top Step's the most legit one in the world. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year, fund thousands of traders a year. There's no PDT in futures. The patterns are very similar to stocks. There's just no PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P. You can day trade the NASDAQ. You can day trade gold and silver currencies. Patterns move very similar to the SPY and the Q. It's the same price action actually as the SPY and the Q. There's just no PDT rule. You can't trade individual stocks, but it's limited risk. If you lose, you're only out what you pay for the Combine. The base one's only $50. The top one is only $150. If you lose, that's all you're out. But if you're good enough to pass it, you get between 50 to 150K in funding with a 90% split. So once you're funded, you're keeping most of your profit anyway, but your risk is noticeably less. And so a great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. Although they are a sponsor of mine, I'm biased, of course, because they pay me money. Always transparent about that. Check all of the stuff with them. Understand this rule right here. CFTC rule 4.41. We've showed this number of times during today's stream, but we'll show it again. Always remember that. And you can check out the link if you want more information. Good luck, guys. We're going to switch to our crypto show starting right now. Our crypto show, we're going to start right now. Talking about Bitcoin, Surge, OpenAI, Sora, all that good stuff. We're getting ready to start right now. I'll see you guys over there. Don't go anywhere. It should immediately bring you to the crypto show. It should immediately bring you to the crypto show. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, bring you straight to the crypto show, I'll post this link. If it doesn't immediately bring you to the crypto show, I'll post this link. You should be able to join it immediately at this link. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, bring you to the crypto show. Here's the link. Check it out. We'll put the link up in chat, and I'll see you guys over there. Again, don't go anywhere. Go to the crypto show. There's the link in chat right now, and I'll see you guys over there. Good luck.